tax advisor.
Russia is blaming Ukraine for recent nationwide arson attacks on military recruitment centers, allegedly sparked by a telephone scam involving Ukrainian intelligence.
The Prosecutor General's office claims vulnerable older Russians would receive calls from Ukrainian agents posing as Russian police, security, or even bailiffs. The scammers would, as claimed, incite them to set fire to call-up officers in return for assurances to clear debts. They would also insist their actions would somehow help apprehend offenders or even prevent criminal acts. No evidence was provided to back up the claims. Prosecutors said the phone calls were on a mass scale and coincided with the Russian advances on the Ukrainian front.
The BBC's Sasha Schlichter. Officials in northern Europe warn people to stay indoors as stormy weather batters the region. Storm Hans canceling ferries, delaying flights, flooding streets, and injuring people. Townhall.com. President Biden's policies continue drawing fire from Senate Republicans who oppose his personnel decisions.
The role of Labor Secretary remains vacant almost 6 months after the president nominated Julie Su to fill the cabinet-level position. California saw hundreds of millions of dollars of COVID-19 unemployment fraud during her tenure as the state's top labor boss. Hundreds of military promotions remain on hold over the Pentagon's effort to sidestep a prohibition on government funding for abortion. Senator Tommy Tuberville says he'll lift the holds if and when lawmakers are allowed to vote on the Pentagon's policy. Bob Agnew reporting.
Ohio voters deciding whether to set the bar higher for amending the state's constitution, raising the threshold for changes from a simple majority vote to 60%. That could make it harder to guarantee abortion rights in the state constitution when that comes up for a vote later this year. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday.
Yeah.
We made it Tuesday.
Welcome to it. What's like you were examining it like it had damage or something.
Well, I couldn't see if I was trying to look for the little orange color thing to tell me it's on silent, and I was not seeing it. Now I see.
Oh, now you see.
Now I see. Now I see. Happy Tuesday.
Welcome to it.
So, yesterday, for folks that don't know, was Sean's birthday.
Indeed, it was.
And I know you went on the tour of birthday stuff.
Yeah, that's the fun thing to do these days. Now, the problem therein, though, is used to be you could just walk into a place and be like, it's my birthday, here's my ID to show you.
Yeah.
What do I get for free? Now, you have to have everybody's app. So I didn't necessarily hit every place I could have.
But you
I just hit the
every.
places that I had the apps for.
Okay.
Put it this way, I didn't really have to pay for much food yesterday.
Nice.
It was sort of just provided.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. I actually enjoyed. I enjoyed a small Bahama Bucks snow last evening.
What flavor?
It was actually. I went with the new. It's like a Captain Crunch tropical free. It was pretty good.
Okay.
Little chunks of Captain Crunch in it. Head up Baskin Robbins because you get a free scoop there. Always go with Jamocha.
Okay.
Jamocha almond fudge.
I'm a chocolate
is
peanut
my
butter
go-to
cup guy there.
Yeah?
That's usually my go-to.
I have a hard time with, usually mint, chocolate chips, or peanut butter cups inside of my ice cream is sort of like a stopping point. I'm not a fan.
No, really?
I'm not, especially chocolate chips, because and people rave about them. They get really hard in ice cream.
What I really like about the chocolate peanut butter cup is they infuse like a peanut butter swirl in it,
right?
And that puts it next level.
Little peanut butter ganache.
Yeah,
and I'm a fan too of that. But I've just always, my go-to since I was like a little kid was always Jamocha almond fudge, or and they don't have it anymore, but. Well, it's on occasion, but the dreamsicle,
okay,
or the creamsicle, I guess. But yeah, that's those are my two go-tos. But yeah, that was it was nice. And then moseyed on over to my friend's house last evening. Enjoyed steak dinner. It was quite nice.
Good deal.
Watched a really interesting movie. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but I got to say, at the end, I was taken for it. It was it's called We Have a Ghost.
Okay.
I think is what it's called. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
And it stars David Harbour.
I'm trying to think if I've seen the trailer for that.
Hopper from Stranger Things.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
We started because we were like, well, we heard it was pretty funny, but it's sort of every emotion in this movie.
Okay.
There's parts where it's laugh out loud funny. There's parts where it's kind of serious. There's parts where it's like a straight up horror film because it like escalates quickly, and there's like I won't get any plot points away, but it's really hard.
Sounds like Stranger Things.
Kinda. It's really heartfelt in the end because it's kind of the story of, well, okay, so this family moves into this house and they find out there's a ghost the son, who looks so much like a young Chris Rock. I cannot get over that.
Huh. Was he like the young Chris in the old?
I don't think he was
Chris
that
Rock
kid.
show?
I don't think he was that kid.
Obviously, because that was 30 years ago.
Right. But he looked so much like a young. He needs to play him in the biopic.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he goes up to the attic and he finds that they have this ghost in the house. But it turns out it's not a mean ghost. He starts like trying. The kid starts laughing at him. He just gives up, walks away, and finally they start to kind of form this bond in this relationship. And basically, it's this kid is trying to figure out why. Ernest is the name of the ghost, why Ernest is still here. Meanwhile, his dad has decided to take this as an opportunity to go massively viral. And so it's sort of become this like media sensation, and there's like a mob of people in front of their house every day. It was really interesting, and the whole thing is
it does sound entertaining.
It was really interesting because you kind of have to learn this guy's backstory and find out who he was and what actually happened, and that sort of opens other doors. And in the end, it's kind of about what it takes to finally cross over.
So does the ghost anybody famous, like the actor?
It's David Harbour. It's Hopper from Stranger Things.
Okay, he's the ghost.
He is the ghost. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Cool.
Yeah, he plays the ghost with a delightful comb over, which I thought was pretty funny. You put some respect on that man's name. That is Hellboy.
I thought maybe he was one of the family members or something. But cool. Sounds like a good movie.
Yeah, it was a delightful.
I think I kind of want to check it out.
It was interesting.
I was going to say something. I just completely forgot what it was. Oh well.
No, the magic of Dave Harbour will do that to you.
It does.
I kept wanting to say Dave Koechner. I had to stop myself. He's also magical.
Just throw out just different Daves. Dave Chappelle. Well, happy Tuesday. Welcome to it. Hope you're having a great day. That's the move. Wait till your birthday and just get on apps and see how many free. I know he came in like at lunchtime. He's like, I got a burger from here, a burger from here. He's like,
chili
bags of
peppers.
burger.
Yep. Just got to roll the dice, see what happens. You know?
Like, good for him, man.
I will say that my birthday is the one day of the year that I don't guilt myself into doing things where I'm like, it's my birthday. I'm gonna do what I want.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time I'll be like, well, I got to do this. I should probably do this now. And, you know, and I have that
I know exactly
Southern
what
Baptist sense of guilt that was instilled in me by my mother and generations before her. But yesterday I was just like, I had a real, no.
It's my party and if I cry if I want to.
Like, if I want to watch shows till I pass out, then that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
It was a good birthday.
I need to take me one of them days. A me day.
You do. You really do.
Take a me day.
Now that Kim is back at work, you can kind of do that. You can kind of lock all the doors, shut the windows, strip down to the skivvies, and slide into the room to a little old time rock and roll.
Watch some devoutly devout 90s or 80s program all day long.
All day. You all right, Mike? Yeah, I was stuck on a silk stockings marathon. I'm going to go for Nikita next.
Yeah. Well, first I went through Briscoe County Jr.
Nice.
And then I went to... actually, that was a good show.
Briscoe County Jr.?
I kind of dug it for the year or whatever it was on. I kind of liked it.
Vaguely remember that show.
It was on Fox.
I'll tell you the two that were huge in my house growing up were... I think it was because they were on back-to-back.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Oh, that was pretty popular.
And... what was the name of the other show?
Lonesome Dove?
No, the Angel Show. What was the Angel? Touched by an Angel.
Touched by an Angel.
Yep,
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and Touched by an Angel. That was a big night of family programming.
Oh, yeah, Touched by an Angel. Della Reese.
It was always, I'm an angel sent by God. That was the line.
That was the Michael Landon one, right? Or was that...
Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, I think Landon was in.
I thought Landon was one of those angel shows.
No, Landon died actually, I think, a few years before that. Landon was...
I thought the show he was on before he died,
Highway
he was
to
an
Heaven.
angel.
That's
Highway to Heaven.
Highway to
Okay.
Heaven, yeah.
Touched by an Angel was Della Reese.
Touched by Heaven was Della Reese,
Okay.
and I can't remember the white
Highway to
lady's name.
Heaven's what I couldn't remember.
But no, there was, and this is part of the reason I think my mom kept watching it. In like the third season of Touched by an Angel, they added in this incredibly handsome, swarthy gentleman as a male angel. An angel. And he was like, he had that like the John Tesh hair, the like, chiseled chin, good looks. My mom's like, hold on, let's see where they're going with this.
Yep. Yeah, the Matthew McConaughey of early evening television.
Yep.
All right, let me give you the rundown for today's show. We're going to replay an interview this hour. We had the folks from Roswell Communal Theater join us in the 9 o'clock hour yesterday talking about Is He Dead? That's their the first play of the new season here, which opens this weekend and will run this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then next Friday and Saturday, Sunday at the Roswell Community Little Theater. So we'll play that interview here in just a bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, Rick Lamb with the Boys and Girls Club here in town going to join us, give us an update. Of course, they had their bubble run on Saturday before the Health Expo, so we'll get an update there and just talk about some of their fall programs as kids now going back to school. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Amy McVeigh-Tejas will join us from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, give us an update, tickets, Guy Penrod concert, and then just other things happening around the Historical Society.
Yes, indeed. If Izzy Stradlin ever decided to join the Grateful Dead,
yes,
they should call him Izzy Dead.
Izzy Dead.
Yes, that was stewing for the entire rundown. I had to Google it, make sure I wasn't an idiot that was making up names. It's a whole fun thing. Izzy Dead.
Thin Lizzy Dead.
Thin Lizzy Dead. It's pretty good, too. The boys are back in town to check on a body.
That should be the Weekend at Bernie's theme song right there. All right, it is 7:16. Let's get you up to date on the weather. Still a rain chance. Holding on. Just like Richard Marks.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things are drying out over eastern New Mexico, but we do still have a chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm later on today. Pretty hot. Our afternoon highs 100 to 105 and a mix of sun and clouds. Overnight, just cloudy, our low in the mid-70s, and then more heat coming up on Wednesday. No rain in the forecast. We'll be at around 105 again on Thursday, and we'll stay sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 74 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 54%. Winds currently out of the south at 8 miles per hour. There is a 20% chance at some afternoon showers and thunderstorms. They're talking mainly after 4 p.m. today. Partly cloudy with a high of 102. Winds will be out of the west, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, we are looking at a 30% chance at scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly before 10 p.m. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 73 degrees. Winds will be out of the southwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour. For you Wednesday, sunny with a high of 104. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow night with an overnight low of 73 degrees. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, mostly sunny, 103 for a high. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 74 degrees. Friday, mostly sunny. Expect a high of 104. For the weekend, we're looking at a 20% chance of rain Saturday. Mostly sunny and 103. 20% chance of rain for Sunday as well. otherwise sunny, hot, and 102 for a high there. So more of the same for the week here. All right, it is 7:18. We'll get you into your Roswell Livestock Report recap with Smiley Wooten. Take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview with Gina and Chris from the Roswell Community Little Theater talking about Is He Dead? That's up next. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,470 head of cattle sold on Monday on a steady to higher market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week. Stocker calves sold steady to 10 higher. Feeder cattle steady to 4 higher. Packer cows and bulls steady to $2 higher. 3 to 400 pound steers, 327 to 332. 3 to 400 pound heifers, 281, 295. 4 to 500 pound steers, $3, 332. 4 to 500 pound heifers, 260, 281. 5 to 600 pound steers, 263, $3. 5 to 600 pound heifers, 236, 260. 6 700 pound steers, 230, 263. 6 700 pound heifers, 209, 236. 7 800 pound steers, 230, 235. 7 800 pound heifers, 205, 209. Packer cows, 106, 119. Canner and cutter cows, 82 to 90. Packer bulls, 118, 139. Feeder bulls, 90 to $1. Top half the cow calf pair, $1,600 to $2,250 per pair. Top half the bred cows, $1,400 to $1,700 per head. Now remember, this is the top of the market, and prices range down from this according to quality, quantity, condition, and feel. We do appreciate the business, and all pray for rain. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
The Rehabilitation Center at Artesia General Hospital offers a variety of services led by experienced licensed therapists, including physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. Their multidisciplinary team provides a complete evaluation with the full support of your primary care provider to develop a custom plan to support your personal goals and recovery needs. These treatment plans help manage symptoms, educate patients and their families, and ultimately get back to the activities that bring you joy. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/rehab.
It takes a long time to develop trust. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, they've been earning your trust for decades. They understand how important it is to friends and family to celebrate a life in the way you choose. The professionals at LaGrone will ease your stress and anxieties. They'll provide the guidance you need to select a service that's appropriate. And that's what they've been doing for generations, earning your trust and doing the right thing. LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, 900 South Main in Roswell. Online at LaGroneFuneralChapels.com.
So you think drinking alcohol can't hurt you? It'll mess you up big time. Say adios to large chunks of your brain. Major damage is already being done. Other parts of your body are getting wrecked too. Forget about sports, forget about school, forget about doing much of anything. Underage drinking freaks out your body, messes up your life.
Sponsored by the NMDOT.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
I'm waiting for someone to say that, by the way. No one said that to me yet, but I'm waiting for that day. They grow like a bamboo. But good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Community Little Theater, Gina Montague and Chris Whipperman back with us. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
How are y'all doing today?
Doing well.
Another Monday.
Well, life is, it's and this is, I was joking, for folks that, if you missed it, Saturday night, the Roswell Community Little Theater officially kicked off the 65th season of shows at the Community Little Theater with their Curtains Rising event. Had a great dinner theater evening out at the Liberty. Big thank you to the Liberty for hosting the event. Big thank you to the Community Little Theater folks for all of their hard work for pulling off. And, of course, thank you to all the folks that came out and bid generously on the live and silent auction items, ate copious amounts of food and beverage, and enjoyed an awesome play on Saturday night. So that kicked off. And they said, well, rather than, have a couple weeks between shows and stuff, we're going to hit while the iron's hot.
Right.
And exactly 1 week later, we're going to open the season with the first show.
Yeah, we probably ought to start rehearsing for that, shouldn't we?
It's like, we should start doing auditions for that, huh?
Yeah, maybe we ought to get started.
But now that the season's kicked off, we would love to invite everyone out to the first production of this new season here, and it is a comedy called "Is He Dead?" And and this one actually has a little historical, because this was written by Mark Twain. This was Mark Twain. Of course, we know him for the history, many books and things. He's the novelist of, I would say if you look at the 1800s and what we think of the 1800s and how it is, Mark Twain's influence is very much a part of that.
Yeah.
And so this is where you get to see the real genius in because we know Mark Twain for his stories. He's an amazing storyteller, but he had a wicked sense of humor. And was very sharp.
And a timeless sense of humor.
Yes, exactly. Like if you go back and read some Mark Twain quotes, and you didn't know they were Mark Twain quotes, just read them verbatim as they were, they would easily apply into today's society as much as they would in his time.
Yeah.
So that's why. So to me, I want to highlight that because I'm like, this play, even though you're like, is he dead? Is this funny? It's not, it's steeped in, historical. So if you love that side of things and love that, and you like to laugh and have a good time with, because we always think of people 1800s, we think of serious and all that. It's like, no, they like to joke and have fun and live life and enjoy life like we did. This is how they did it.
And they laughed at the same stuff. I mean, certain things are timelessly funny, and they laughed at the same stuff back then that we laugh at today.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I don't care what anybody says. A good fart joke will work in any room if you do it right.
Well, it depends on how big the room is.
But we opening weekend is this Friday night for Is He Dead? So kind of give now, Jeannie, you're directing this one. You're putting this together and all that. Chris, you're of the cast. What is your character in this play?
I actually play several characters.
Okay, that's right. There are multiple costume changes, and this is getting a little Shakespearean as far as the scene changes, costume changes, and all that. So.
Well, so at the time, so this was written in the 1890s, and kind of the basic story behind this is. He wrote this manuscript, or kind of wrote this outline for a play. He passed away. It got mixed in with all of his archives,
kind of got
documents,
lost to the time here.
And somebody in the 90s, I think it was 90s, was writing a biography on him and stumbled across this manuscript in a box and basically looked at it, was like, we could turn this into a modern play. And so contacted a modern day playwright and had them kind of,
polish it.
Yeah, fill in the blanks and but absolutely kept you can see the Twain in it. It's 100% Twain's story, and it's really good. I mean, it's amazing when you think it's 130 years old and the jokes and everything are just as funny as stuff you have today.
I would like to. Do they have like an unpolished version of the script somewhere online? I'd love to compare and contrast on like what was polished versus
right.
You know what I mean? Because I imagine some of the language, because the way that we spoke in the 1890s is not the same that we speak in.
Sure.
The turn of phrase. Just the way we do, it's a little different back then. So I imagine they had to maybe update that a little bit.
We get kind of lucky because the play's actually set in the 1850s, 1840s.
Okay, so
50s.
some of that tracks with the play.
Yeah, so we didn't have to kind of jump forward. We actually kind of go back a little bit.
Sure. So it would be weird for them to use 2020 vernacular in 1890.
Yes, that's exactly right. Right. It's lit.
Yeah.
Is that one? That's one of them, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's like certain movies kind of take poetic license with that, and sometimes it works. It's like A Knight's Tale, for instance. It's an entertaining movie. Love that movie. Every time it comes on, I'll stop and watch a little bit.
Yeah.
But every time they show the first fight scene and the crowd's doing "We Will Rock You" and all that, it takes me out of it a little bit. Like,
then when you're not used to it, then by the end of it, you're waiting, okay, what Metallica song is going to be playing while they're slashing up this village?
It's cool, but when first time I saw it in the first way, I was kind of like, I get the artistic side of it a little bit, but to purposely have a play and people set in the 1890s talk like 2022, that don't sound right. It just doesn't. It'd be no different than you guys coming up on stage saying we're doing a piece from the 1890s and you're all wearing your current clothing and doing, sure, we could do it, but it's not gonna resonate with the audience. It's not gonna resonate with the mood
a little.
Yeah. Even you as actors probably will do an inferior job because that's part of the thing. You put
Right.
on the costume, you put, and it kind of it's like the switch flips. You know, it's like, okay, I'm not Gina anymore. I'm not Chris anymore. I'm the character.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
And that's and so that's why it's so important to get that kind of stuff right too. But
Yeah.
good deal. So this is a comedy.
It's a comedy.
And basically, loosely, the premise is think of, artists and things like that. We always talk about, and the running joke with paintings is that the painting will be worth money once the artist is dead. That's kind of the unwritten rule in art world. And so this comedy,
Hunter Biden joke there, but I'm not going to say that out loud.
This comedy plays into that premise and so the main character in essence is like, hey, wait a minute, maybe I can get some money from my art.
Yeah, that's kind of the deal is that these guys are struggling artists. They're trying to put food in their mouths, and somebody suggests to them, oh, well, artists are worth so much more after they're dead. And so they get the idea, hey, let's kill you off. Let's kill you off, and we'll make you keep painting, and we'll just release all your paintings after you're dead. And that's kind of the basic premise, and hilarity ensues.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which to me, when you hear that, and just knowing what I know about how Mark Twain's writings and everything, that's vintage Mark Twain ideology. Like he's that guy. And if you read enough of his quotes and stuff, for every nugget of wisdom, there's an ounce of irony with every one of them.
Yeah.
And so that to me sounds like vintage Mark Twain.
Yeah, and the characters he develops. So the artist lives in France, but his friends he's got a Dutch friend, and he's got a guy from Chicago, and he's got an Irish friend. So we got all these different people with their different dialects and accents. So it's been a little fun with this one because normally we kind of do American shows. You might have somebody doing like a Southern accent, but we're talking
occasional British one.
We're talking French accents and German Dutch and Irish and a Chicago accent. I mean,
and that's hard to pull off. Like, okay, we can all maybe do a 3-second, well, good day, mate, and that's about the extent of it. But to read an entire dialogue, let alone an entire performance, and oh, by the way, you can't slip. Like, I'm not naturally speaking Irish, but I got to for the next 2 hours. Right. And if it's not natural to you, your own accent will slip in there from time to time, even if it's just one word.
Yeah.
And that's why when you look at actors and you see them doing accents and things, and in movies, it's one thing we can edit. Oh, you said it wrong, but when you're on a stage live doing it, you don't get that luxury. And so to me, it's almost harder when you all do either period pieces or foreign pieces set in a foreign land, or have foreign characters that because you got to get it right, or it's not believable, or it looks like you're just mocking them as opposed to trying to be them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you got to be careful with that. And
we
so
got real lucky. The cast in this is just amazing.
Yeah.
You saw Bryce the other night.
Yeah.
Bryce is he plays kind of the main painter in this, and let's see. We have got some new people. I do want to mention this. We got a couple of new people. In fact, one of these guys, Ray, hope you're listening, Ray, is a traveling nurse who happens to be stationed here in Roswell right now, and he realized he was going to be here during the duration of the play. He just signed a new contract, and he's like, let me give it a shot. And this guy is killing it. He's amazing. He is amazing.
Maybe he won't travel so much, and maybe you'll find a niche here and want to hang out and do a few more of these.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a guy, Jim, who was an instructor down at FLETC, a firearms instructor. He's done a bunch of Westerns, like been background. He's like the guy on the horse in the background.
So he's probably handy with some logistics.
Oh, he brought all of his own 1850s clothing with it. That was with him. That was great.
It's kind of nice when they already have their own.
Exactly. But, he's never acted live before. So, he's like trying to remember lines. And it's interesting to see,
But he loves the history side, so that's kind of his end.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we were like, he needs a weapon. And we thought, well, which one do you need? I got 56 to choose from. They're all time appropriate. And, so,
yeah.
And
amateur armorer over here.
Yeah. And just some great, it's for me, this is my third year. Now, Gina's been involved in this a lot longer. This is my third year at the theater. And so I was the new guy a couple years ago. And it's so amazing to sit here and watch these new people come in and kind of develop this love for the theater and kind of see Well, first off, to see that, they really appreciate the hard work that goes into it. I think a lot of people just think, oh, yeah, I'll go in, they'll hand me some lines, I'll memorize them real quick, and I'll go up on stage. And, we've been going at this for 2 months.
It's a
3-4 nights
labor
a
of
week,
love and passion.
Absolutely.
And there's long hours. There's going to be fights and debates over how one line is said because everybody involved wants to make this the best production. And that's where the passions come out. And sure, I bet there's a few knockdown dragouts, labor of love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, passion getting involved in things, and that's what makes this great. And that's what makes it. And then also what makes the characters, I would imagine, the cast here, they were friendly and nice to each other. But by the end of this thing next week, they're probably all going to be closer friends and probably do things socially, and who knows, maybe, and I would hope that maybe especially some of our temporary folks, may get a stay over P and get to hang out a little bit more. But if not, you know what? Hopefully, whatever the next location that traveling nurse goes to, starts getting involved in their community theater and maybe helps with that. And because sure, we love them there, but we want to make sure this is available in every town, every place we go. We want the arts to thrive and be available to people. So,
well, as someone, when I moved to Roswell for the first year, we didn't know a whole lot of people. I mean, we met some folks here and there, but when we got involved in the theater, now my entire social circle for the most part, and most of my friends are people that I met through the theater or because of theater
adjacent.
And like with Ray, I mean, I think it's great that he found these folks here because now he's got a whole group of friends in this town that will be by his side if he needs somebody.
And it's good for everybody. We're very blessed. We have some folks that have been involved with the community theater for a long
decades.
time, and we need that because that's how this organization keeps going and kind of passing the baton of the next generation and things. So that's a good thing to have. But at the same time, you don't want the same 20 people doing everything because they're going to get burnt out. They're going to get overtaxed. Or, if you have the same group of people and not new people coming in from time to time, there is a possibility of staleness and just lack of
same shows
progress.
over.
Because you all get in, it happens to any group of human beings.
Sure.
You're in a group long enough, you get comfortable and you start getting, and that's good in some senses, but it's not good if you're trying to, create new and make it bigger and bolder. When you're comfortable, you don't always have those desires. So having new faces, young folks that come in that they see this and they, who knows, maybe there's some people I would love to see some young high school ages saying, I want to pursue a career in acting or in production of this in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to learn the ins and outs of the business at my local community theater, and then while I'm going to college to kind of get the documentation to go with my experience, I'm going to have both of those available to me for when it's time for me to get out there and put myself out there for everybody.
Right.
Yeah, and that's and that's what this. And how many? I don't know how many. I imagine over the years there's quite a few teenagers and things that started in community theater. Or started even here locally, and now they're working in the industry some way, shape, or form.
Program.
Whether either on the stage or mentoring the next generation of people that are doing it, or doing the less sexy, less front of stage type stuff than the industry, the writing, the logistical side of things.
For every person you see on stage, there's 5 people backstage that put them there.
There's whole companies and people that their living is to build sets and to build things that are going to be taken down in a couple months or a couple weeks. That's that to create real out of fake. And that's a special talent in craft that even if I don't want to be the one holding the skull saying to be or not to be on the stage. That's the one facet. That's the sexy, visible facet. There's so many cogs in that wheel below that have to happen before you see the person with the skull to be or not to be on the stage.
That's the great part about community theater is that you come in and you let us know what you want to do. People, it's not like you're going and the only thing you could do is audition for a part on stage. You come in and you're like, hey, I do not want to be on stage, but I want to work on lights. Come work on lights. You want to come build some sets? Come build some sets. You want to do costumes? Come do costumes. Well, there's so many different aspects to where you can be involved, but you don't have to be on stage, but you can still kind of dip your toes in it a little bit.
Or maybe you're that collector yard sale type person.
Oh, yeah.
Love to have you available, out scouting on weekends for yard sales and various sales and events like that for pieces that might be helpful to add to the collection
prop
of
hunt.
the Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Sometimes them old dresses and suits that haven't been popular since the 70s. Yes, I realize it is a candy apple red suit or it is a sky blue tuxedo. You're not ever wearing that in, but you know what? We might.
I'm telling you, it's crazy because now, like when I go to garage sales or thrift stores and stuff, I'm looking for the weird things. I'm looking for the unique things. Like, okay, like you said, a fluorescent pink suit.
Yeah,
we may need that in a play we're doing 2 years from now, so I better buy that.
Look at that ashtray from the '60s.
Right?
That would be perfect sitting on a coffee table at one of our plays.
I found a gong at a garage sale, and I'm like, I need a gong. Who knows what we're going to need that for a play?
Sure,
absolutely.
Or telephones. And
confession
things.
time. I really just wanted a gong, but
as one does,
right?
But like period phones, like if you got old '80s rotary phones.
Oh yeah,
things
I mean
like
all that old stuff. Yeah,
all that stuff is.
I say old stuff. All the stuff that we knew as kids as being normal.
Yeah. Even like an old Commodore 64 computer or something like that. You never know. That might be needed if there's an '80s play, and that's obviously the computers we use today look nothing like those computers we used in the 80s and 90s.
And the fun part for me is because I like doing sets and I like building props and things like that too. Is you get one of these plays and there's going to be something you're going to have to make. Now we needed a coffin for this play.
Sure.
And we thought about trying to get one, but it kind of needed to be a specific coffin, so let's build one.
Coffins are expensive. Like
they are.
Like the way they build them and everything, the days of the old pine wooden box are kind of non-existent.
But being a community theater, you got to do it on a budget. So we had a good friend at Foxworth Galbraith, Tony. He hooked us up with a very good deal on some stuff. So we made a coffin for like $40. I mean,
well, and it's just even crazy. like in past performances, y'all, like one of your plays was like on a cruise ship or a hotel.
Yeah.
And guess what? Those doors and stuff are kind of a certain way, and you got to get them just right.
Yeah.
They aren't just laying around haphazardly. So people scour resources or build what you can't scour and try to make it to it doesn't have to be a real thick function. It's not got to withstand a storm, but it's got to withstand 6 performances.
Yeah,
and
that's right. Yeah, it's got to look good from the audience for 6 performances. We don't care what the back looks like. It's just got to look good from the front, and it's got to not fall apart.
But I would invite you come out this weekend or next weekend or both.
Yeah.
And see the play, see it, especially if you've never been to a community little theater's performance. Make opening season show here your first one. Come on, and the great this is a comedy. This is a play. It's so if you have friends that like I don't want to hear singing and all that for 2 hours. This is not a musical. This is a play with dialogue and comedy and banter. It's like TV, but live people.
Right. and this show is really great because it doesn't matter if you're 12 years old or 85 years old, you're going to find the humor funny.
Yes,
you're going to find it
friendly.
Yeah, it's family friendly and this is a really good to me personally, of course I'm probably biased because but to me personally, I've been involved in numerous shows. This I think is one of the funniest ones we've done, so
well, and yes, I know there's people that love the musicals and love singing, and we get to see our local talent really shine on those, and I get it. But and I'm kind of in that group. I like my story told to me. I like that. I don't enjoy it as much. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen musicals, and there's ones I've liked and everything else. But for the most part, I hear if someone says you want to go to a musical, I'm like, no, thanks. I'm good.
Yeah.
But this is different. This is to me. So if you're not into musicals, forget it. Come out to this one because this is not that. This is literally it's a play. It's acting. It's watching TV without the TV. It's people there live doing it in front of you.
Right.
It's a sitcom. It's like watching Big Bang Theory or something like that. But it's a Mark Twain piece.
Yeah. And it's an original story. I mean, it's
it's slapsticky too because think about the premise of it with the is he dead? There's going to be these scenes where he's going to be outed as almost not dead, but at least a few, and there's going to be a few close calls. That's whenever you have a comedy like this, you can guarantee, and then a guy like Mark Twain, who's a master at creating a story, knows that is going to spin it that way.
Yeah.
And that's the part I love is you're going to laugh at jokes and things that were written over 100 years ago, but still hold true. And I think that to me is cool. And when you see it in action, you're like, oh, dang, it kind of makes you, first off, it makes you realize how kind of where you are in the place in the world. It's like, you know what, it's not all about me. It's, it's a lot. I think that reminds you of that stuff. So come out and have fun. Come out and, make it a date night if you want. Maybe do dinner before or afterwards, depending on which performance you chose. It'll be this Friday night, this Saturday night. Those are 7:30 p.m. performances. Correct. And then on Sunday, it'll be a 2:30 matinee performance.
Correct.
And then we'll do the exact same schedule next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here. So it'll be 11th, 12th, and 13th this weekend, and then 18th, 19th, and 20th next weekend. We would love for you to get advance tickets. That would sure make the cast and crew feel a little bit better when they have pre-sale tickets. So you can get your tickets right now, and especially since we haven't had the first night yet, do it now, because once opening night happens and people have actually seen the play, then they're going to come back and tickets start picking up. The advance sales do pick up after that. So you kind of have a 4 or 5 day grace period here before curtain opening night here Friday night.
This is definitely going to be a word of mouth play. I think anybody that comes and sees this the first weekend is going to want to come back with some friends the second weekend and take them to see it.
That's what I'm trying to warn you against. So if you're like, I can't this weekend, I'll go next. Okay, great. Get your tickets this week. That way you guarantee to have, trust me, they'll get you in. We haven't had to turn people away yet, but, the idea is to get it to where we get to the point where, sorry, we got too many people in here. Sorry, fire marshal won't let us in anymore.
Yeah.
That would be a great problem to have.
Exactly.
So go online to the Roswell Communal Theater's website. It's Roswell Theater, spelled like live theater, THEATRE.
The fancy way.
Yes. RoswellTheater.com. You can go there, and when you get to the website, there's going to be a little pop-up that comes up, and it's got a guy that kind of looks like a rabbi or a priest there. And all he's asking is, hey, you want to stay up to date on everything, put your email there, and then anytime this play or the immersive dinner that goes with it, or auditions for this play, or anything that goes on to the community little theater, you're going to get an email notification, though you don't have to go and chase it down on Facebook and all that. Now, my other thing I'd recommend you do is like and follow Facebook, so you get that too. But so that way, anytime the communal theater puts something out new, you're going to be one of the first people to know. But you don't have to. But if you'd like to, that'll save you a little step. But then you get there and you're going to see the events tab. You'll see the one for Is He Dead? Click on that. You'll see pick your night, pick how many tickets, and then you can get them right there. And then your tickets will be ready and waiting for you on the night you choose to come out to the show or afternoon. And be ready there, will call kind of deal. So do that now. If it's Friday night or Saturday night or Sunday afternoon, oh, dang, don't worry. Come on down. We'll get you in there. We'll come and even come a little hungry. We got so you want a snack or something. If you're running late with your hair on fire, it's like, need a beverage. Get a beverage. Get down in the lobby, compose yourself, and get you a seat there. But
exactly.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, we were talking earlier, if you want to get involved, hang out afterwards. Talk to the cast. They all come out after the play, and you get to meet and greet and talk to everybody. Talk with them. Say, hey, I love this. Was great what you guys do. I'd love to. What do I got to do? And they'll invite you to maybe another rehearsal or something, and kind of meet the people and kind of see what it's all about there too.
Yeah, I mean that's the fun part is people come up after the play and they're like, oh, this was a lot of fun. We're like, well, hey, we're going to go to Denny's and have some coffee. You want to join us? Sure. Come hang out with the cast.
Yeah, and come kind of see us with our hair down.
That's right. That's right.
But that's it. It's family. It's fun. It's just a great. So if you want to come out and see a show, come out this weekend or next weekend or both and see a show here. And then while you're at the Community Little Theater's website, you can see the entire season right now on all the upcoming plays and productions. Or if you went out Saturday night to the Liberty, you got to see the big shows that are going to be coming in the next season. But don't forget, in between all those big shows, they've got Mission Improbable nights, CAPS program nights, other various...
doing the talent show. They're doing
Santa's
the battle
Talent
band.
Search.
They've got a lot of great stuff going on at the theater, and it's not just plays or musicals. There's a lot of things you could be involved in. Absolutely. Just please come out, check it out. There's plenty of ways you can become involved.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So
I just want to mention really quickly, August 14th and 15th at the theater, we'll have auditions for the next play.
Okay.
Farce of Habit coming up. So that's at 6:30, 14th and 15th.
And your mom's directing that
Yes,
one. Yes,
my mom.
she's the one. She gave this speech on it. That's how I know the other night. So she was giving. That looks like it's going to be a fun one too.
Yes, it's going to be fun.
Actually, all the plays. Everything from the ones that you may have not have heard like this to they're going to cap it off with Around the World at 80 Days at the end of the season here, which everybody's heard of. So it's from the. Yeah, a little bit more obscure but cool, kind of like Is He Dead, to something that it's a household name like Around the World in 80 Days.
Right.
You got a little bit of everything, and in between there, like you said, there's the Mission Improbable nights. They usually do that on average once every month or two.
I think about once a month or so. Yeah.
And that's a Friday night. We just come out and think of the TV show Whose Line Is It Anyway? It's a live version of that for a couple hours. Family friendly. But like the show, there's those moments where. The jokes go because it's jokes that are
you know what? It's another one. It's another thing to do in Roswell when people sit there and say there's nothing to do here.
Sure.
Have you looked? have you looked online?
And that's just it. Every night's different, and that's why that one's just as much fun for the players as it is for the audience. Because sure, the players they practice in that, training their brain for the quick quips, and there's exercises and things to kind of get your brain to think in those ways, but. As far as the content, they have no idea what's going to be.
Right.
They could be talking about a love story. They could be talking about a fight at work.
The audience drives the story on improv
exactly.
nights. Yeah.
It could be like something completely nonsensical, and it's like lollipops on Mars playing Candyland with two chickens. I mean, you don't know.
Yeah, right.
It's like make a scene from that. Like, whoa, right? Someone's on the acid, but all right. But that's improv night. It
improv,
really
exactly.
is what happens.
Yeah.
So come out and be a part of all this stuff. Again, go to when the priest there asks you to like and give us your Facebook, your email information, fill that out. That way you stay up. They're not going to sell your thing. And
we don't send a bunch of
weird.
spam or anything like that out. You're going to get updates on our shows, updates on our editions. That's all you're going to get.
Speaking of, do we have details in the? I don't have them in front of me, and I should have printed them off. The immersive dinner for this. Is there anything we need to do on that?
Just go to our website. I believe you can buy tickets.
You can get your tickets
for
right now for the
Mm-hmm.
immersive dinner on this one. I forgot to go and look up the menu and all that stuff. I got sidetracked. But if you go to Roswell, the RoswellTheater.com website, you can get your tickets for the immersive dinner and all of that for this one, which is kind of an added. Part of that you get tickets to the show, but you also get a night of dinner at the community little theater. They'll do dinner on the stage. The cast are your servers and wait staff. And in character, of course.
In character.
Chris is going to not just be Chris; he's going to be, his character for the show.
One of them, maybe.
And so, if you see the play before or after, depending on your time in there, it'll give you clues or give you a little more insight into the show. And it's just another way to have fun. The meals are always paired with the theme of the play and things like that. So. Get your tickets right now. They do sell quick on those.
Yeah, that's very limited. I think there's only 20 or 24 seats or something.
The stage is only so big, and there's only so many tables you can put up there, and so much food you can serve off there.
Yeah.
So and we want to make it that unique,
exactly
kind of extra experience kind of thing. So but get your tickets now for that too, and every play. Or season play like this, I think there's 4 or 5 altogether over the course of the season. Every one of these plays have an immersive dinner.
Correct. Yeah.
And everything that's kind of paired with it. It's kind of a themed package together there. So now the Mission Improbable nights, things like that, that's just a one-off night.
Right.
But these productions, they come with the immersive dinner. So if you miss this one, then get in on the immersive dinner for the next performance.
Yeah, it's a really, if you're not real familiar with theater, it's a way to really jump in with both feet. Yeah.
And they partner with our local restaurants. We've had various, from Peppers to Sarah's to a couple others, kind of help out the Liberty in past have used this as their chance to try out some dinner items and menu items on folks. And
well, at the end of the day, we're a community theater. We support ourselves, we pay our own bills, we own our own building, so we have to, we have to keep money coming in. So, we've been very lucky. We have a lot of great people in the city who support the theater.
Absolutely.
And so that's one thing that's nice about this is we don't ask the city for money to help us keep running, or we don't, it's all
people just doing the events like Saturday night to do that. Yeah.
Everybody there's a volunteer. We're, putting in sometimes 30 plus hours a week at the theater, and rehearsing and getting ready for stuff.
It's a labor of love.
It really is, and it's all we don't get a dime from it. It's all just for a few applause at the end of the show.
Well, and at the end of the day, you're doing this, so 20, 30 years from now, your kids can be here doing the same thing.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And giving that opportunity for that next generation. So and that's the people before us put this thing together, and now it's kind of the job of this generation to continue that to get it for the next generation.
Well, in this state right now, if you really think about it, acting, theater, drama, whatever you want to call it, is an upcoming industry.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of movie productions, film studios that have moved to New Mexico. Heck, a couple months ago, we went up to Albuquerque and auditioned for just an open casting call. I mean, there's tons of things going on. So if you're even a kid that's remotely or have kids that are remotely interested in this stuff.
Absolutely.
This is the way to start. You get your face out here in some local theater, and then, maybe you start auditioning for some stuff in Albuquerque or whatever.
Or at least find what you like in the industry.
Or find out whether you like it.
You may go in thinking I want to be an actor, and then you start getting into it's like, man, I love sound and lighting. I love doing
or
that
design
kind of
or
stuff,
costumes or makeup or
it's like, that was
tons of
cool.
things.
But my favorite part was getting the actors ready for the performance or whatever it was. That was really cool where they're finding these pieces. I love doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you stumble into that. Next thing you know, you're doing that for Netflix or some major film studio.
Which is actually nowadays becoming a possibility in this state.
Yeah.
So
now, granted, right now they're all striking, so there's not a whole lot going on. But at some point that will happen again.
Yeah, they'll be back in production.
But as you're seeing, they shift gears. I mean, you look the film industry. Yes, it will take hits. But they're still creating. They're still doing it. It's just different ways. You're going to see a lot more reality and that kind of thing right now.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be people creating and stuff. So it is a great career field if that's your passion.
Well, look at Oppenheimer in theaters right now is filmed right here in New Mexico with a lot of local New Mexico actors.
And to be honest, all these movie and television actors, they get their chops in live theater. That's where they learn how their craft and they learn how to do this.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, not trying to sound live, doing it live is way harder than on a set. That's because you get take after take. You're going to do the same thing 15,000 times. You're going to get sick of it.
Yeah.
You literally spend all day working on 2 minutes of film. And so there is no surprises.
Yeah. That's one thing Jim, our guy who's done some background stuff. I mean, he was talking about, you'll sit there all day and just film the same 3 lines over and over again, and you're just sitting back there. Okay, ride your horse up to here and stop.
They'll literally film 20 hours of something that'll wind up to about 30 seconds of actual on-air film stuff. That's how much it's in. We're live theater, though. You're up here. If the line
forget your line, you better figure it out.
you gotta either remember it or come up with a plan to keep this thing going, or. This is why an ensemble cast is really nice. Because someone's like, they're drowning. Let's bail them out.
Exactly.
Let me do something to my lines or do an action that'll kind of.
Weren't you going to ask me about?
Yeah, let's put it back on track here, and that's where live theater.
I'm not saying if you hear that during our play that somebody forgot a line. I'm just saying that hypothetically.
It is absolutely a team sport.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and that's the beauty of if you come out to Is He Dead performance here. If you come out Friday night and then come out Saturday. Yeah, the script's the same, but it's going to be a different show a little bit because, like you said, someone messed up a line here or a joke that we didn't think would played, and now we're going to kind of enhance that a little bit for this next performance. Stuff like that. You always, yes, there's a performance that first night, but they're tweaking it every night. Like,
it's
this
a living,
went great
breathing thing. Yeah.
Hey, tomorrow night, let's do this.
The best thing is, you do this in rehearsal and you say the same lines 1,000 times, and they lose their punch, their jokes and things like that. So the first time you get in front of a live audience and that thing you've been saying 100 times that you think is nothing, and everybody just starts roaring laughing, it that really feeds you. It absolutely feeds you, and it makes you want to work harder for more laughs.
Trust me, as a guy.
So then the next night you say the line a little louder, and a little slower, and a little clearer, so everybody could hear it.
As a guy who spends his whole time doing this, I know exactly how you feel.
Right?
Yeah, it's like, ooh, they like that. More of that. Right. And then we do too much, and you tell us to shut up.
Yeah,
and that instant feedback is the greatest.
Absolutely, that's where live theaters kind of plays a little different than going to see a movie at the theater or something like that. But I just saw the time. We're about to get kicked off the radio.
Okay.
This weekend and next, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 2:30 Sunday, RoswellTheater.com, Theatre. If you don't remember that, just Google Roswell Communal Theater. It'll pop right up. Like and follow on Facebook as well. And if you have questions or anything, shoot a message to there, and one of the cast or one of the folks will get back to you pretty quick.
Just one question, Mike.
Yes.
Is he dead?
Is he dead? Got to find out tonight or Friday night, Saturday night, or Sunday, this weekend and next. And come out and have some fun. Come get involved. Get your tickets to the immersive dinner. Good. You might want to get on today and get that locked down.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to worry about, oh, man, y'all have any tickets left? Because the answer is going to be no.
Yeah.
We don't, unless you want to sit outside because we have no places for work.
Thank you so much for having us on, Mike. We really appreciate it.
We'll see you guys next time.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Inviting tourists and locals alike to play along on a scavenger hunt app that highlights all the great things to do in Carlsbad. The Carlsbad Caverns Discovery Dash Scavenger Hunt is now officially underway and can be downloaded on any app store for free. Participants can download the Scavify app and search for the Carlsbad Caverns Discovery Dash to join the hunt. The New Mexico Higher Education Department is now accepting applications for a loan for service program, providing up to 100% student loan forgiveness for New Mexico residents who graduate from one of 23 out-of-state graduate or professional programs. The programs are in dentistry, optometry, or veterinary medicine. The Western Interstate Commission on Higher Education Loan for Service Program forgives a portion of student loans each year of service licensed professionals provide in New Mexico after graduating from an approved graduate or professional program. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things are drying out over eastern New Mexico, but we do still have a chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm later on today. Pretty hot. Our afternoon highs 100 to 105 and a mix of sun and clouds. Overnight, just cloudy. Our low in the mid-70s, and then more heat coming up on Wednesday. No rain in the forecast. We'll be at around 105 again on Thursday, and we'll stay sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
And good morning. We're closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News coming up next. Folks from Boys and Girls Club coming in next hour. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters right here on Roswell's Talk FM. We'll be back. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Well, the cleanup is underway this morning following yesterday's potent storms that blasted the east, hitting multiple states. The National Weather Service's Andrew Orison says things have improved considerably today across the affected area and beyond.
Somewhat cooler and drier conditions coming in across the Great Lakes and portions of the eastern United States, including the Mid-Atlantic region, where we did see quite a bit of severe weather and concerns for flash flooding last evening.
That severe weather brought down trees and power lines, closed roads, canceled or delayed thousands of flights, and left at least 2 people dead. A 15-year-old boy killed by a falling tree in South Carolina, and a 28-year-old man was struck by lightning in Alabama. More than 1 million utility customers at one point found themselves without power. President Biden's job approval rating, it remains consistently low.
Just under 55% of likely voters say they disapprove of the president's job performance. That compares to 42% approval in the latest Real Clear Politics survey, factoring in results from 12 separate polls in July. It's the worst approval rating of any president in the last 4 administrations for this point in his presidency. Former President Trump enjoyed 43.6% in July of his third year, Barack Obama 44.6%, and George W. Bush 57.2%. Bob Agnew reporting.
Former President Trump's legal team has told the judge presiding over the election conspiracy case against him that the prosecutor's proposed protective order aimed at preventing a public disclosure of evidence is excessively broad and would restrict the former president's First Amendment rights. Following yesterday's rally, a sell-off this morning on Wall Street, the Dow down 360 points, the NASDAQ off 178. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
A senior U.S. diplomat didn't have much luck trying to convince Niger's military leaders to surrender the reins of power to a civilian government.
Victoria Nuland's visit to Niamey underlines the importance that Niger holds for the United States. Before the coup, it was a linchpin of Western-backed efforts to limit the spread of jihadist violence across Africa's Sahel region. Ms. Nuland said the generals showed little interest in her proposals on how to restore civilian rule. But she said they did understand the risks involved in working with the Russian mercenary group Wagner. West African leaders have also been pressing the coup leaders to hand back power. They'll meet later this week to decide whether to follow through on their threat of military intervention.
The BBC's James Reed. Thousands of scouts from around the globe are being evacuated from their campsite on South Korea's coast to inland venues ahead of a tropical storm. It's forecast to bring intense rains and strong winds to the peninsula. News and analysis, townhall.com. New Zealand embraces the green energy agenda in a big way.
The government's partnering with U.S. investment giant BlackRock to launch a $1.2 billion fund to ramp up investments in wind and solar generation, as well as battery storage. Some of that investment would come from government companies and pension funds. New Zealand's electricity grid's already about 82% renewable. The government says it aims to reach 100% renewable generation by the end of the decade. Rhonda Rockstra reporting.
Thousands of Los Angeles City employees, including sanitation workers, engineers, and traffic officers, have walked off the job. A 24-hour strike alleging unfair labor practices. Picket lines have appeared at LAX and other locations, and a rally is planned later in the day at City Hall. The Workers' Union says more than 11,000 of its members are striking, the union accusing the city of failing to bargain in good faith. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday. Hope your Tuesday's going super swell.
Second day of the rest of your life, second day of school. Things sort of back into a semi-routine.
Getting into the groove a bit. Almost, not quite.
It's like, for most elementary, and I even argue early middle schoolers, the first few days are just sort of get-to-know-you days. High school, syllabus got handed out yesterday. It's down to business today. Sorry, kids.
Yeah.
The education starts now.
Yeah, I guess they still kind of do it like they did when we were in school, sort of.
Well, I just remember the teachers that were the most hated were the ones that gave you homework on the first day. It's like that's supposed to be the day you hand out the syllabus, we go over the syllabus, we go around the room and kind of introduce each other and get to know each other a little bit before we get down to the hard stuff. At least that's how I would run a class. Now, I am curious because I know it doesn't start until I think August 21st, but young Roy over here, he'll be commandeering a classroom and teaching some young minds this upcoming semester.
Nice.
He'll be teaching a intro to video production class.
Okay.
Yeah,
good deal.
So I would be curious to kind of pick his brain a bit just to see, just kind of see how he's planning on doing it because I know he's been. I don't know if he came up to you, but he's been coming up to everybody else going, "Hey, how do you build a syllabus?" Like
he didn't come to me, and probably smartly so. I have no idea how to build a syllabus.
I don't either. My advice though was go online. I'm sure you could find an outline of a syllabus. You know, you could just then take that idea or that concept and then kind of build on it.
Yeah, I would.
What I'm thinking.
Guess that. Like, is there notes or anything from the previous teachers? Stuff.
As I've gathered it, there was no curriculum.
Oh,
for
so
the
it's all
class.
new.
So it's sort of it's not. I think it's there was a class before, but I don't think there was curriculum before.
Okay.
So it's sort of like a make it up as you go along thing. But,
okay.
And Roy knows what he's doing when it comes to filmmaking, so I think that it's something he could take the reins on and knock out of the park.
So, like, introduction to film, is it like, is this like, okay, this is a camera?
I kind of think that's what it is, because I took Intro to Computer, or Computers 1, I think it was, back in when I was going to college.
Yeah.
And I remember the first class was like, this is a keyboard, this is a mouse. And I'm like, oh my God. But then, by like the third week, they were talking about, like, simple basic programming and stuff. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Where did that happen?
Word. DOS.
I learned early on in college that they'll totally let you skip. They don't care at all.
I think it depends on the
Nobody's
class.
Come for you.
No, it's a different world. You're an adult.
It
now.
is. Well, you paid for it. It's what the difference
exactly.
is. You spent your hard-earned dollars.
You don't. Well, and this is. And welcome to the big crux in college transition that kids have.
I messed
go
up.
from high school to college, and then they go from a world where they're told when to be where at what time to now saying this is the time.
I have my own
be
place.
there or not, doesn't matter, you paid for it.
I have my own place, and there's half a pizza in the fridge. And I also have season 3 of The Simpsons on DVD with optional director's commentary. I mean, you know what's going to win here. So yeah, I messed up my first semester. I buckled down after that because, well, my dad was paying for school, and he sort of like made sure I buckled down.
Yeah.
Never graduated, but
not enough buckling down apparently.
Well, I buckled down. I buckled down until I found a good job, and then I was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do this school thing anymore." Plus, I got like scared away from my desired profession.
What was it?
Early childhood education.
A teacher?
I was going to school to be Kim, essentially an elementary school teacher. I always said I wanted to get them while they still had hope.
Yeah.
But I had a female instructor kind of like scare me out of the idea of being a teacher, basically by sitting me down and saying, you do understand that if you give one kid a bad grade on the test, he's going to go home and say that you did horrible things, and then that's your career.
Yeah.
It's like, as a male, you're held to a much bigger spotlight and a much higher standard. I'm like, I don't know if I want to be that scrutinized every day of my life. So radio?
Where there's no scrutiny.
All right. Scrutiny straight out the window.
Right, sure. Unless you just, anytime you have a thought, people tell you you're wrong.
Right.
But anyway.
Well, that's why you got to get on a station that nobody listens to, which I had managed to do for a good portion of my career, and then I came here.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's, but I'm trying to picture you as a teacher. Like, I think part of you would be very good at it.
I feel like I would be really good, except for I have no patience.
That's the part I'm like, because you're like me and have zero patience.
Well, I'm okay with 1 to 2 kids.
Yeah.
But you said your wife's class was 28 students?
She got a big class this year, 25, I think.
That's a big class.
Yeah, she has a big class this year.
So that's a lot of second graders to deal with. Because my goal was I wanted to go between kinder and fourth.
Right.
But and there's I'll give it up to male teachers out there who make it work and who do, and it's it's a great profession. They're tenured and they've been there for decades.
I did not see a male teacher as a regular teacher until 5th grade.
I think as far as see a male teacher, I definitely saw them
I mean, like teaching something.
Right.
Like, I mean, there was some male teachers that were like gym teachers or art teachers.
Right.
But to be a like classroom elementary teacher, 5th grade was my first one I ever saw. And
Usually, and mine was definitely in like middle or high school for sure too. Now that you mention it, usually the coaches of like the high school teams are teaching something. Like when I was in school, one of the football coaches was also the history teacher. And I know that because every girl in high school was madly in love with him. Cut to today, he's the principal of my daughter's school. Married to my daughter's teacher.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So,
well, you were a heartthrob back in your younger teaching days.
He's held on and held strong. You ask any girl that was at Roswell High from like late 90s to early 2000s, they'll be all talking about Mr. Alsop. Name dropper.
Well, I'm sure he'll love that if he's listening or someone is and knows him. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. That's going to be funny. People just start calling me, hey, McDreamy.
It always gets around, yeah. Seriously, if somebody out there is listening that works at Del Norte and wants to call Mr. Alsop McDreamy today, let me know and I will find a way to get you a T-shirt or something.
That would be funny.
That would be great.
I just kind of wish I could see the organically happening. Like,
well, what's funny is I think I know the person who is most likely to be listening right now and do that. Except for school already started, so maybe not. But
maybe tomorrow.
I digress.
Tomorrow's a new day.
I won't drop names there.
We're going to get you up to date with the weather here in just a bit. Shortly thereafter, Rick Lane will join us with Boys and Girls Club. Give us an update there. Of course, they just had the bubble run Saturday. Yes. And then, of course, now kind of now that school's back in session, gearing into their fall session. So we'll talk about that with Rick here in just a bit. Later on this hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety. I'll try to work in that Cowboys report. I'm not so good at working in. and whatever else we can come up with for it.
Oh, no, look what got deleted by mistake.
Can't have time to play it again today.
We ran a little long.
Man,
sorry.
All right, it's 8:14. Here's your weather, which we will play, whether or not you like it.
That's right.
Here's the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things are drying out over eastern New Mexico, but we do still have a chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm later on today. Pretty hot. Our afternoon highs 100 to 105 and a mix of sun and clouds. Overnight, just cloudy, our low in the mid-70s, and then more heat coming up on Wednesday. No rain in the forecast. We'll be at around 105 again on Thursday, and we'll stay sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 82 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 40%. Winds currently out of the southwest at 12 miles per hour. Today we are looking at a 20% chance for some afternoon showers and thunderstorms. They're talking after 4 p.m. today. Partly cloudy and a high of 102 with west winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. 30% chance at showers for this evening, mainly before 10 p.m. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 73 degrees. Winds will be out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, mostly sunny, 104 for a high. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 73 degrees. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, mostly sunny and 103. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, mostly sunny, 104 for a high. And then for your weekend, there is a 20% chance for rain on Saturday, mostly sunny and 103. 20% chance of rain on Sunday, sunny and 102. 20% chance of rain Monday as well, sunny and 101 there. So we'll see. This is our non-soon season. I'm going to call that non-soon. That's going to be my new name. It is technically monsoon, but we're not getting much, so non-soon season. Spread it around. Ask for it by name. All right, it is 16 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a quick 2.5-minute commercial break, and then we'll talk Boys and Girls Club here on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
Have you lost that loving feeling for your alarm company? It turns out that long-distance relationship with them leaves you little to no customer service? In case you didn't know, Zenith Security Services is a local, family-owned company that's been right here in southeast New Mexico since 1998. Zenith Security can take over most existing alarm equipment, and if their monitoring is higher, they'll price match your existing services. So what are you waiting for? Call Zenith Security Services today at 575-626-3521.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true.
A good night's sleep is so important, and issues like sleep apnea make falling asleep and staying asleep nearly impossible, but we can help. I'm Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. With the help of a simple oral appliance, your sleepless nights could be a thing of the past. But don't take my word for it, just ask Lainey.
My name is Lainey Smith. I wasn't surprised when I found out I had sleep apnea simply because I had a horrible sleep pattern. I attempted to use the machine and it drove me nuts and I could not sleep with it. And then that's when Dr. Agger told me about the oral appliance. I would suspect I've been using it for 2 years now. In all of that time, I've had less than 10 poor nights of sleep. It's a complete game changer. I feel a lot better because I sleep.
This simple appliance can change your life. Call us today to set up your appointment so you can finally get the good night's sleep you need.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, "Hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Boys and Girls Club, for technically, I guess you say Chavis and Lincoln counties, but for here in Southeast New Mexico, Rick Lamb back with us. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning. How are you today?
Doing great, and also brought your son with you today. You want to introduce your son to everybody?
This is Chance.
Hey, Chance. How old are you, Chance? You are 6 years old? All right. You start school tomorrow, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. Are you excited? What grade? What grade do you go into at 6?
First grade.
First grade. All right. So this is like first time in kind of like the big boy classroom, huh? All right. Yeah. You excited?
I mean, Mr. Fox.
That's gonna be your new teacher,
Mrs. Fox.
Mrs. Fox. Okay. Well, good. Have you met her before when you were in kindergarten? No. So it'll be his first time you meet her tomorrow.
We met her yesterday. We had the whole parent teacher introduction.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I saw my friend.
And you saw your friends? That's good.
Yeah.
That'll be good. So excellent. So if you're excited for school, of course, school for most of us have got underway this week here. Obviously, students there at Gateway will start up tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I know for you guys that kind of gets busy for Boys and Girls Club. It's you have your summer program, and that kind of wraps up, and it now kind of shifts to your after-school fall program here. So, but before we do that, I do want to kind of get a recap. Of course, you had your the bubble run on Saturday morning before the Health Expo. Everything went well there, and from everything I heard, had great crowds and everything there to participate.
Even from last year, they doubled numbers.
Yeah.
Last year, I think it was about 800 people or so. The year before, or this year, was over 1,600 people that walked through that place. That's
a lot of bubbles.
Right? The Bubble Fun Run was a blast. We heard a lot of good things about it, which I'm excited about because we're going to continue that next year as well.
Good deal. So back by popular demand, it'll be, I guess you could, was it, because Was this the first bubble run? I know we've had runs. Yeah. I think it was the first bubble. So
yeah,
this was the first one.
This was the first bubble run in Roswell, and it's one of those things that was so much fun, especially the heat at the end of the summer in August, at the beginning of August. I think it's nice to have that nice cool run through at the end of everything. So we got some plans for next year to make it a little bit better too.
Good deal. So bigger and better for next year. Excellent. But hopefully everyone that came out on Saturday to the Bubble Run and Health Expo had a good time and got everything they needed here. But now that summer's over, you guys kind of shift gears because you have the summer program, which is kind of an all-day thing for most part for the kids here. But now that the kids go back to school, really the focus shifts because now it's kind of quiet during the middle of the day here for the most part. But then around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon when the schools start letting out, then the Boys and Girls Club gets really busy because we've had how many schools now do you guys have that kind of send kids directly from through your vans and buses and all that?
We pick up from 8 different elementary schools around Roswell.
Excellent. Good deal. And that's expanded quite a bit over the last couple of years here. I can remember when it was just 1 or 2 there, like right around COVID time and all that. So, and I imagine the goal eventually is to get all of the elementary schools having a bus at some point getting there.
And not even just the elementary schools. The goal is even still to try and figure out how we can reach those middle school kids and then also the high school kids as well.
Sure.
We've got programs for all ages, and that's, we want to make sure that we're effective the whole way through.
And that's something we really want to, we should tout in things because, like you said, we think, obviously, most families and things think of Boys or Girls Club. It's like, well, as a parent, I don't get off work until 5 o'clock at night, and my child's home at 3 o'clock. I don't want them home by themselves for 2 hours while and granted, when they get a little older, you start giving them more responsibility. But this is where I want to say, even when they're in high school and that age, after school they come and get involved as younger children. They kind of work on, all of them work on homework and stuff. That's kind of the first thing they do. But then they do their fun activities. But the older kids plan and do and kind of create their own curriculum there. So it really is something from elementary age kids all the way up to kids that are seniors in high school now. There's really something from all of them. But the older the kids get, the more of the program's in their hands. They get to kind of decide what direction it goes. You see on the TV there? Yeah, that thing can get distracting. So, but yes. If you're needing childcare because you're not available, Boys and Girls Club can be that resource, and you're going to get a lot more than just someone watching your child for 2 hours. You're getting all this stuff. But if you really want to get your children more involved in community-based things and doing that, even when they're old enough to technically be home by themselves for 2 hours, I would still say bring them on down or have them come down and get involved, because this is the part that's going to help make them better, well-rounded kids and adults eventually.
Exactly, and that's the goal of the whole process is, we want them to be those productive, caring, responsible people, but not just, just those simple things, but we also want good character building as well. And so that's what we build our programs around. Of course, like you said, we work with them with their homework and making sure that they're getting that done. And the best thing about that is parents then don't have to stress about doing a ton of homework at the end of the day. Maybe they'll have to do a little bit, but that gives more family time that they get to spend time together. And then after that, they get to, do different programs, whether it's learning how to eat healthy or learning how to be active or learning how to deal with bullies. We do a bunch of different programs. We have a really good STEM center. We just got microscopes in that we're going to start introducing to our STEM program.
Nice.
Literacy is still always an important thing because we want to make sure that the kids know how to read, because if you can't read and you can't do math, you're going to struggle a lot in this world.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the world is getting smarter, not dumber.
Yep.
And it's like computers. I remember, our parents were like, I don't need no computer. Now, no matter how old you are, you almost can't navigate life without at least a a rudimentary understanding of computers.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just from everything from paying your bills to ordering food, and especially during COVID. During the COVID time where no one could get out and the only way you could communicate with the world was through some type of electronic device, you really you have to have that basic thing anymore. And that's that is true the point. So whether no matter what your child decides to do, whether they're going to be painters or engineers or whatever, the CEO of the next Fortune 500 company, they need to know math, science, that because it's in everything.
Yep.
Everything that you do in life has math and science in it in some way, shape, or form. And the more you understand about it, the more clear picture you have on how a lot of things work in life.
Exactly.
And so it is very much to your child's advantage to have we don't want to, I get it. Not every child's going to be a mathematician or a civil engineer, but to understand the basics of math and some of the basic formulas and, certainly understanding, algebra and at least, those principles in geometry and some of the things that you probably realize you already know, but don't realize that's geometry.
Yeah.
That's algebra.
Oh, yeah.
And so you need to incorporate that in. And so, because I get it. Kids, I'm one of those people. I hate math and science. But it's in everything. I hate sitting in a classroom and doing equations and all that, but I like my paycheck. I like to make food.
Exactly.
All of that involves math.
Well, and we want to try and, we always work towards making it as fun as possible. We use the term high yield activities. The kids are learning, but they're learning in ways where they don't realize that they're learning. For instance, at the end of last school year, they made a volcano, and the basis of that volcano was just experience how a volcano works. Well, then this summer, they came back through and they made a volcano again, but it wasn't just how does a volcano work, it was how can you protect your people that are all around there. So there's always a learning aspect to it, but it's a fun learning aspect, so the kids are enjoying themselves along the way.
Sure. And plus, we talk about math and science, there's another very important aspect they're learning there that, to be honest, I think younger generations are kind of behind the eight ball on, and it's the critical thinking skills. That side of things, basically teaching children to say, okay, there's a problem. How do we solve it? How do we, what steps do we do to try to make headway on this? And that's all critical thinking. And that's, the only way you can teach that is by doing it. Is by sitting in there and putting them in the front line, let them try it, That's, put them in a scenario just like what you're talking about here. We got a volcano. Okay, how do we keep the people from, and now they got to think, all right, well, if you do it this way, but then this is going to happen. Well, what if we do it this way? Well, that'd be work, but this is going to happen. And so through that, they learn and realize, and that will serve them so well in any aspect of life, because that's life, is making one decision after another. When you think about it, that's living life. And those decisions you make are going to kind of determine how your life goes.
Yep, it's true. It's very true. And on top of everything as well, one of the big things that we're always focusing on is safety. Safety is so important to the very end, where even if we know the parent, we've talked to them 1,000 times, we're still checking your ID. We want to make sure that your ID matches what's in the system so that your kids are consistently safe.
Sure.
And that's something that we always like to point out, because really it is such an important thing to make sure that your kids are consistently safe wherever they're at.
Well, and it's that it's a tricky ball to juggle for you guys, because you're in such a family atmosphere where everyone's, hey Bobby, hey Sue, hey Larry, and during the whole class it's like that. But that moment where people are coming in, it's like, I know it's Bobby, but because if we get complacent now, then we're going to get complacent on somebody that we don't.
Yeah.
And so to keep that from happening, you're like, we're going to go overkill on this, even though we know this is Bobby, but we're going to make sure that way. And that's what you're basically saying is, we're once we're in, we're going to have the formal, informal family style conversations and things. But, that initial thing, we're not going to relax security or any protections because you guys are pretty aware you have pretty precious cargo in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So So parents, please don't be like, come on, dude, you know it's me. It's like they do it for the protection of your kids and your friends' kids, and that's the only reason for it. So,
Yeah, exactly.
So just understand that.
Yeah.
That's the only reason for it. It's not because they're on some weird power trip. It's just if we get complacent now, that opens for a possibility of us being complacent in the future. So
Exactly.
we don't want to do that.
Well, and you know that parents are, we've got a list of different people who are allowed to pick up the kids for each one of the families.
Mm-hmm.
But the way we look at it is what happens if somebody gets taken off that list?
Right.
What if a parent says, you know what, Joe is no longer able to pick them up for whatever
Life does
reason.
happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't want to put ourselves in a position where we're jeopardizing that
when
child.
permissions changed and you weren't made aware of it or didn't know or someone didn't check the annotations to note that change was made.
Exactly.
So that's why we do it the same way every time to avoid that from slipping through the cracks.
Exactly.
Makes complete sense. So again, that's just peace of mind for families and things. So if you have questions about that or issues about that, Rick will be happy to sit down and talk with you about all that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about like time frame and curriculum here. It's as far as the program, kids can sign up anytime. There isn't like a window.
No. We're definitely limited on spots because we only have so many vans. We only have so many van seats that we can pick up. But we did something different this year. So last year, we got scholarships that came in. And so Pecos and Nancy Lopez got $10 scholarships.
Oh, cool.
For $10 a month for the after-school program. The downside to that, though, is if they wanted to come to an all day, because we know that the school is closed certain days, whether it's parent-teacher conference or Christmas or things like that, then it was $12 a day. So we sat down and we kind of looked at things and we made a decision. We actually made it $20 a month this year, but that includes those all days.
Okay.
So, and we're pretty simple. The only thing we asked is we get the kids there 4 days a week until 5 p.m.
Okay.
And then for all days, we ask that they're there 80% of the time.
Okay.
And that allows us to do a lot of these programs that we have put together because this year we are trying to be very purposeful in how we create our programs. Don't get me wrong, everybody loves an art project, but art projects after a certain amount of time get old if that's the only thing that you're doing. So
not every kid likes art.
And exactly.
Yeah.
So we're doing art projects that are purposeful and take a week or two. They've done Picasso paintings where they take like a week to create this whole Picasso painting. But then we do programs where they, like I said, they do STEM stuff. So we've got a 3D printer in there. We've got esports that we're just towards the tail end of getting completely started so the kids can get onto that. We got microscopes that just came in. We've got engineering building. We teach them about electricity. We teach them all of these different things.
Wow.
We've got a literacy program. So we're continuing to work on getting these kids proficient in reading, and not even just proficient, but enjoy reading. Books have a world that you can't get unless you enjoy actually reading.
And I think what I love about this is because especially kids that when you're at that age where they're teaching to read and they're giving you books and things to read, sometimes the subjects in those books aren't what interests children. And unfortunately that stunts kids' desire to read sometimes.
Exactly.
And so I love when we do extra stuff like this because, they're going to have to read To Kill a Mockingbird or whatever books that are in the curriculum at school because that's the curriculum. But we want to encourage that kid to pick up a book on their own. And that's the cool part is because then you show the kids, look, you've got your required reading, but this library has every subject you can possibly imagine, of stories you can think of. You want space stories? Do you want fun stories? Do you want stories about people like you? Do you want stories about, they're there?
Yep.
And so through Boys and Girls Club, you can kind of enhance that side and say, all right, now that you're done reading your book for school, let's pick out something you want to read. What are you into? Do you like, do you like Army Men? Do you like Barbie? Let's find some stuff that you're into. And that's how you get kids to love reading because once they find things they want to read about, then it's hard for them to put the book down. They just and so that's the cool part to promote that side of things. And their reading will get better. You'll see the more they read, and then they want to read because they're reading things that they are interested in, not because a teacher or a parent made them read it.
Exactly.
And that's that's how you get kids into reading.
Yeah.
Is allowing them the freedom to choose their own things to read too.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got a pretty good library. We've been lucky over the years and had some great donations that have come through. So, there's always books, and we give them tons of time to be able to read.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a program that's going on, we encourage them to be a part of it. But there's certain times where we'll be like, okay, you know what? Why don't you just grab your book that you want to read and sit down and read that? But we do a program called Triple Play. It's it's kind of a mind and body scenario. So we're going to teach you about the importance of being active, but then we're also going to teach you about the importance of eating healthy as well. We have New Mexico State University ICANN that comes in, and they talk about healthy eating and portion control and different things like that. We've got a game room, and we actually just got a new addition to the game room, so it's called a beam unit.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it before.
No, I'm not really familiar.
So what it is it hangs in the ceiling, and it shoots a projection down. It's an interactive projection.
Okay.
So, like, for instance, there's a game called Big Mouth on there, and for little kids, it's something as simple as which one is the color red, or which one is the dog, or the pig, or the letter, or the number.
Okay.
But then there's other ones where you have to do some mathematics in there, and you have to think quickly as you're doing it because you're on a timer.
Okay.
There's all kinds of different games that are included in it.
Nice.
And we just got that in.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun things that we're doing this year.
Excellent. So please, if you're looking for an opportunity to get your children more involved, that's the thing. This is the part. Especially, and this is for all kids, but especially when they're elementary and that middle school age, where we really think we all are in that moment in their lives where you're just trying to expose them to as many different things to see what they like and see what direction. And I think Boys and Girls Club does an excellent job of exposing them to a lot of different things.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think the kids that are sitting, that are your son's age in there right now, they are learning and seeing things that when they're 30 and 40 years old, they're going to have a passion for something. And I'm pretty safe to say they're going to pick it up at something they did at Boys and Girls Club.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it could be a hobby. It could be, this person got into pottery, and you know why? It's because they did a class at Boys and Girls Club one time, and now they're hooked on it. And, and then it's the other side too, is back to those problem solving skills, life lessons. Obviously parents, we were taught things and things have changed, but even things like eating. Like when I was a kid, they're talking about pyramids and food groups, and all of that's out the window now. None of that. Everything that they taught me about health and nutrition as a kid is pretty much debunked or changed.
Anymore. Things change too quickly.
And so, parents, you may not be up on the latest what they're teaching kids on how to eat and especially we live in a world where food's different than it was when we were children. You have to be a little bit more educated.
Yep.
Because of, packaging and marketing, and, you get an apple. And back when we were kids, an apple's an apple. Nowadays, you're like, well, let's see, how was that apple produced? Is it,
Yeah.
So we have to educate kids, and that's why, when they come in and do their health and nutrition and learning on what the right foods to eat and things like that, parents, I get it, but your information may not be as good as up to date as what they're saying now. It's just one of those
and
things.
on top of that too, on top of that as well, life has changed in the fact that we're a lot busier than we were back then. So, we give the kids snacks in the afternoon, but they're teaching the kids how to find healthy stuff through everything on the shelves. I mean, even in the 90s, when I was growing up, you walked through a grocery store, there wasn't 50 aisles of 50 different things. It was your basic stuff, and now it's grown bigger and bigger and bigger. And so how do you find those different things?
Sure.
These kids are taught those sorts of things.
And understanding labels and what, because sure, marketing comes into play when you go to a grocery store and you see no fat, low fat, or all the things they throw at you on a box, and you're thinking, oh, that's healthy. And all it's like, well, start looking at the box, and it's not as healthy as one would think about it. Like, I don't know if y'all remember, but I remember as a kid, Diet Coke was supposed to be some magic drink, Diet Coke, you can eat whatever you want. You should drink Diet Coke. You're fine. You know, obviously that it just didn't put as many calories as a regular Coke. But that, you know, and that's where I think we need to learn this stuff, and as adults too, because we were taught one thing and now it's different, and so this is why I think in some circles your children may teach you a few things about that, especially when it comes to healthy eating and stuff. Because you know that's when you're talking about planning family meals and stuff. You know, once your child is kind of doing some of this, get them involved in home in some of the meal planning and preparation and stuff. And, you know, teach them as, you know, obviously age appropriate on what they, you know, it's like, all right, if you got a 6-year-old, all right, here's the grill, son, fire, you know, be a little bit more supervising there. But you know what I mean? That's, you know, get them involved in some of the family planning process too, as they're learning some of this. So when, if they do a food segment, you know, say, hey, help me make the grocery list and help me, find these items in the store, and let's see what, you know, and use what they're learning in the Boys and Girls Club and kind of showing them it in the real world a little bit. Too.
Exactly.
So, it's all helping you, giving you tools to kind of work with your own child too, because let's face it, kids don't come with an owner's manual, and you know, what you know is what your parents taught you, you know, and so this could be, you know, use all the tools in your tool belt to help you raise some great children. That's what Boys and Girls Club is there to help you do. And we get it. You work, you know, this is why it's there. Kids get off at 3. You're like, I don't get off work till 5:30 or 5 o'clock here. You know, for $20 a month, they can basically have the kids picked up, come to the thing, doing actual curriculum and learning and getting more good stuff. So by the time you come pick them up at 5 o'clock, they're either going to be exhausted or they're going to be ready to tell you about their days.
Well, exactly. And, you know, and I realize that we do pick up from 8 different schools. We don't pick up from every elementary out there. You know, but if you're more than welcome to bring them too, that gives us more spots as well.
Sure.
You know, homeschooling. This is one area that I feel like we could probably get into a little bit more as well, because, you know, parents, they're with their kids all day. It gives them a chance to get things done that they need to. So by bringing them by the club at 3 o'clock, you've got 3 hours where you can get some things taken care of, and they're getting that socialization.
The part that they say it is the drawback to homeschooling is lack of being in a social environment. You could basically mitigate that by, you know, spending the afternoons at Boys and Girls Club. Yeah. And they will get all of the part that is good about having group settings and working as a team and working in teams and being in leadership and things like that. Because, I mean, sure, you have homeschooling and it's you and your kid, but it's really hard to show leadership skills when it's the teacher and a student, and you're the one absorbing. At Boys and Girls Club, now this child, you know, at some point will get chances to lead groups and problem solve and do things that it's really hard to teach one-on-one. You know? And so it's a great point. It's a great, you know, utilize all the tools in your tool belt here to help your children. If you're a homeschool parent that's doing this, use Boys and Girls Club as kind of a way to offset some of the things that you can't do as a homeschool teacher.
Exactly.
So, it's really... and Rick, and then we'll be happy to talk to you about any of this stuff. You know, the curriculum times. Take a tour of the place, see some of the cool new gadgets and things that have been put up at the Boys and Girls Club facility. So, by the way, if you haven't been in a while, they did a complete remodel of it here a couple of years ago. And so, if you haven't been since, you know, after COVID here or pre-COVID, or if you haven't been since after COVID, it's a totally different building. It's they completely because it was old and kind of run down 10 years ago, and they spent a bunch of money and kind of revamped it and everything else, and then COVID hit, and you know, so we didn't get to play with all the cool toys, and now they're putting in the cool toys. So the Boys and Girls Club really here is getting quite a cool. It's just a lot's been invested into the program here over the last couple of years. And with not only with resources but with people and things like that. So please utilize it. As parents, come talk, come reach out, come show your kids exactly what this facility is like and what the possibilities are here. And sure, elementary age, we're definitely bringing them on. But don't forget, if you're middle age and high school age kids too, please come be a part of the program. Maybe you're, I know some started elementary and maybe have continued through older, but But even if you're just now getting into the program and you're just now in middle school or in high school, please come check it out. Come make some new friends. This could be that aspect where you learn and do things that maybe you're missing in school or something like that, and or maybe being a part of a sports team or something like that is not your thing. You might find your thing there with Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So, what's the best way to reach out to you? Is it just calling or getting online, or what's the best way to?
Multiple ways. You can, of course, Facebook is always a way. Calling us 575-550-5001. Generally, we're there 10 to 6 right now with the after-school program going on, unless it's an all-day. But jump on and check out our website, too. We just upgraded our website. It's our initials, so BGCCLC, Boys and Girls Club of Chavez and Lincoln County .org.
And if you don't remember that, just Google Boys and Girls Club, Chavez, Lincoln County, Roswell, probably can get you there, and the website will pop right up.
Yep, and pop right up and click on it. And then, whether you're Roswell or Ruidoso, we've got 2 blue doors now. Blue doors have always been a big standard for Boys and Girls Club because it's, that open door aspect. We want our doors open. So, you pick your door, you go in, and it tells you about what we do. You can print out an application right there for the kids and get that filled out depending on the program that you're going to. And they can get you taken care of from there.
So is it all school age from kindergarten on up, or can they go before kindergarten? What's the earliest they can come?
So it's 1st through 5th grade right now.
Okay.
With kindergarten, the downside is that you need to have somebody special taking care of that group. And we want to make sure that before we bring that type of age group in, we've got somebody who can really handle those kids.
And thing I've learned, since my wife is a 2nd grade teacher, if you've noticed nowadays, in more modern or renovated schools and things, the kindergarten section of the school is completely different than the elementary side. They usually have their own complete different amenities and facility, like where my wife teaches. Like they have their own playground exclusively for the kindergarten. They have their own, their own little wing, and it's their own bathrooms, their own, and so because like that specialized training you're talking about, all of it's done within their own little bubble there. So it makes sense what you're saying. As soon as it just kind of, back when I was in kindergarten, it kind of was with everybody else, but now they kind of separate it from the main campus, so to speak.
Exactly. So, but 1st through 5th grade, and then, the plan is over the next year or 2, we want to get into middle schools. We want to get into high schools. We want to be effective across the board because kids... the truth is that when adults get bored, they're going to find something to do. When kids get bored, they're going to find something to do, but they're probably going to find something to do that's not always going to be the best thing.
Sure.
And so we want to make sure that we give them a safe place to go where they can learn and they can make mistakes and they can grow and they can do the things that they want to learn how to do, but they do it in that environment where it is safe.
Absolutely. That's what it is. They get to explore. They get to do things. He's having a ball.
He really
is. I've been enjoying this watching him go around. Be honest, I'm listening to Rick. I'm not watching him do cool things. But come check it out. Come bring parents. Come see a tour. Come bring your children, obviously. Yeah. But if you want to come as parents just to see everything and do it, please come on down. They can, like I said, if you come on down, depending on how busy it is, they might be able to do it right then, but not maybe schedule an appointment to come on and set something up there. Or either if you want to see while it's in action, or if you want to see it before the kids come or after they go home, something like that. Or if you want to come during the day when you see programs in action and all that. But please reach out. Please go to the website, do some research, and if you have a child, basically in 1st grade through 5th, but if you're high school, middle, and want to get involved, please reach out too. We're looking for more of these because, to be honest, you're going to be kind of the leaders and stuff too, and you might find out that you might be pretty good at doing some of that leader stuff and things. Even if you're like, well, I'm not into sports, I'm not into 4-H or any of that kind of stuff, but I'm into this, or I'm into, and this will be a way to kind of express your interests and things like that too. So giving you a platform.
Exactly.
That's where I think Boys and Girls Club shine. I think it gives a platform for everybody, including people that necessarily don't have a platform right now. You know what I mean? They're looking for that platform. They're like, I'm not into football, not into this, or they're still trying to find their passion.
Yeah.
And Boys and Girls Club is excellent at helping people do that. Good deal. Is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to share? Or we just kind
I
of
think we pretty well
sidetracked?
covered everything. Biggest things, of course, always the $20 annual fee, but then $20 a month, and that includes all days. We're not open every single day. Like, we're going to be closed Labor Day. We're closed Christmas. We get our holidays too, which is nice. But a majority of those other ones where the kids are out of school, we're going to be open. And
those
that gives
in-service days.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Those half-day Wednesdays.
Well, half-day Wednesdays, yeah, we pick them up. But all days, 7:30 to 6 for all days. So,
Good deal.
We're open early enough so parents can get their kids dropped off and then get
snow days, I would imagine.
Snow days,
those are
if they
days.
do pop up every now and then.
Yeah, we get one once a year, whether you want one or not. Pretty much. You weren't around for Goliath, were you?
No.
Were you in New Mexico when that happened?
No,
or?
I was not for that one. But
Yeah,
my parents have told me about it.
Oh,
quite a
yeah.
bit.
This place shut down for a week when that happened. We didn't know what to do with ourselves. But come out. Come be a part. I'm telling you, Boys and Girls Club might be that missing piece that you've been trying to get to just connect with your children and getting them to kind of, get on board with things and doing all this stuff. And especially in the world we live in now and COVID and coming out of COVID and kids, especially, because I'm thinking the way my wife talks, the COVID class is third graders now. The kind of the kids that kind of been in school only through the COVID time.
Yeah.
And they're still playing catch up on that. So use things like Boys and Girls Club to, yes, you do. He's just saying stuff now.
Yeah, he's just random, exactly.
But yeah, come utilize it. Come. Every tool you can help to get your kid a chance to succeed, utilize it. And Boys and Girls Club is a very affordable one that can get so much bang for your buck on.
Exactly.
So, good deal. Well, Rick's always appreciate the visit.
Thanks for having me.
Is Minnie you going to be in tow today, or do you have plans for him today?
Oh no, he's with me today because school doesn't start
till
tomorrow. He's with me today. And then when.
Of course, your job is at Boys and Girls Club, so you just turn them loose at the club.
Exactly. And then, 3 p.m. when the kids start showing up, he joins them. And, he's already made friends through this summer. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be probably a mini instructor at some point at that
Possibly,
thing.
Yep. There's a good chance. He seems to already have that skill down.
Or at least mascot. Maybe
exactly.
The official greeter of the Boys and Girls Club. Good deal. Well, thank you, Rick, and we'll see you next time.
Definitely.
Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Anytime. It is 8:53. Let us pause for some news. A Cowboys report, which I'm actually going to play, despite my lack of Cowboys fandom. I'm going to play it. You're welcome. And then a quick break. We'll be back.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The city of Carlsbad celebrating the 100-year anniversary of Carlsbad Caverns by inviting tourists and locals alike to play along on a scavenger hunt app that highlights all the great things to do in Carlsbad. The Carlsbad Caverns Discovery Dash Scavenger Hunt is now officially underway and can be downloaded on any app store for free. Participants can download the Scavify app and search for the Carlsbad Caverns Discovery Dash to join the hunt. The New Mexico Higher Education Department is now accepting applications for a loan for service program, providing up to 100% student loan forgiveness for New Mexico residents who graduate from one of 23 out-of-state graduate or professional programs. The programs are in dentistry, optometry, or veterinary medicine. The Western Interstate Commission on Higher Education Loan for Service Program forgives a portion of student loans each year of service licensed professionals provide in New Mexico after graduating from an approved graduate or professional program. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Hi, everyone. With your Dallas Cowboys training camp report, I'm Christy Scales in Oxnard, California, where one of the top rookie draft picks finally made his practice debut. You'll hear from tight end Luke Schoonmaker after this.
A true Dallas Cowboys fan is there for the journey and the destination. This is the season to make your journey count by flying through McAllen International Airport, the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. Whether you're flying down for McAllen's award-winning fall and holiday festivals, or you're a South Texas fan flying up to cheer the Cowboys on, make your journey as satisfying as your destination at the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. McAllen International Airport, above, beyond, at McAllenairport.com.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Dallas Cowboys rookie second-round draft pick Luke Schoonmaker is finally on the practice field following rehab on his foot for a torn plantar fascia. Of course, practice is a breeze for the tight end compared to the tradition of rookies singing songs in front of the team. And what was Luke's musical assignment?
Party in the USA, a classic. They send us a list. You get to pick out like a few you would want to sing, and then they randomize it after that. So everybody's getting electric and stuff like that, so it's a good time.
Nothing like grown men singing Miley Cyrus to break up the monotony of camp. In other Cowboys news, Brandon Aubrey has won the open kicking competition. Tristan Vizcaíno was released yesterday so Aubrey could get all the practice reps. With the boys in Oxnard, I'm Christy Scales.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things are drying out over eastern New Mexico, but we do still have a chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm later on today. Pretty hot. Our afternoon highs 100 to 105 and a mix of sun and clouds. Overnight, just cloudy, our low in the mid-70s, and then more heat coming up on Wednesday. No rain in the forecast. We'll be at around 105 again on Thursday, and we'll stay sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Wall Street advanced on Monday, shaking off some early choppiness after last week's subdued performance. All this ahead of Thursday's highly awaited U.S. inflation report. U.S. trucking firm Yellow Corporation filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, accusing the Teamsters Union of driving it out of business and sparking an angry response from the labor group over the company's financial management. Tyson Foods is closing 4 more U.S. chicken plants in its latest effort to cut costs. Tyson said it would move the work performed in plants to newer facilities, but declined to say how many employees were affected. The blockbuster film Barbie has topped $1 billion in box office ticket sales worldwide since its July 21st debut. In a statement, Warner Brothers said the fantasy comedy movie has taken in $459 million from domestic theaters and another $572.1 million overseas. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Roswell Skin Center and Dr. Cometti are here to provide what you need for cosmetic dermatology, offering facials, peels, Botox, filler, and laser. Dr. Cometti at Roswell Skin Center invites you to become a VIP member. Receive $50 off your first treatment. Sign up for rewards at roswellskin.com.
Have you lost that loving feeling for your alarm company? It turns out that long-distance relationship with them leaves you little to no customer service. In case you didn't know, Zenith Security Services is a local, family-owned company that's been right here in southeast New Mexico since 1998. Zenith Security can take over most existing alarm equipment, and if their monitoring is higher, they'll price match your existing services. So what are you waiting for? Call Zenith Security Services today at 575-626-3521.
New Mexico can be safer, and we can protect our loved ones from gun-related injuries when we lock up our guns. New Mexico has one of the highest rates of gun violence in the country, with numbers nearly 2 times higher than the national average. But safe gun storage is a proven strategy that reduces gun violence in all our communities. Protect New Mexico by securing your firearms. Visit safestoragenm.org to learn more. Brought to you by the New Mexico Department of Health.
Clyde Lewis and Ground Zero is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM. KEND Roswell.
Skies darkened, the winds picked up, the rain came down in buckets. Powerful storms battered the east yesterday from south to north. Fierce winds bringing down trees, taking power lines with them. Gerald Witt with the electric utility in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Repair work requires, at this point, a lot of pole replacements. And those repairs can take up to 12 hours to complete. We currently have about 80 crews working with 2 dozen crews from neighboring utilities who have been called in to assist.
Weather-related fatalities. Falling tree killed a teen in South Carolina. A 28-year-old man died when he was struck by lightning in Alabama. At one point, 1 million utility customers had no power. The storms also snarled air travel, resulting in thousands of flight delays and cancellations. In Ohio, voters going to the polls deciding whether to set the bar higher for amending the state's constitution. Correspondent Julie Carr-Smith says that as a result, it could get harder to guarantee abortion rights in the Ohio Constitution.
If issue 1 passes, the threshold for future amendments will be raised to 60%. That would most immediately impact an abortion rights amendment that is scheduled for November.
Voters in several states have affirmed abortion rights since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last year, though usually with less than 60% of the vote. A hearing expected this week on a Justice Department request for a protective order in the election conspiracy case against former President Trump in Washington, D.C. Mr. Trump's lawyers tell the presiding judge that the order is overly broad and would restrict the former president's First Amendment free speech rights. The sell-off continues on Wall Street. The Dow down 411 points. The Nasdaq is off 214. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
China's economy continues to struggle in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic.
These are the weakest export figures since February 2020, when China was in the thick of the pandemic. China's customers in the rest of the world are spending less on Chinese goods because of high inflation and high interest rates. At the same time, spending within the country has also been lower than expected. Unlike most of the rest of the world, prices in China appear to be going down as businesses and consumers emerge from zero COVID, unwilling to spend and with large stockpiles of goods to sell.
The BBC's Nick Marsh. The United Nations World Food Programme slowly resuming food aid to Ethiopia, nearly 5 months after taking the extraordinary measure of suspending aid following the discovery of a massive scheme to steal donated grain. News and analysis, townhall.com. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. After all these years, still good advice.
The most recent Federal Trade Commission data from 2022 shows that reported consumer losses to fraud totaled $8.8 billion. That's a 30% increase from 2021. The biggest losses were to investment scams, including cryptocurrency schemes, which cost people more than $3.8 billion. Younger adults ages 20 to 29 reported losing money more often than older adults ages 70 to 79. But when older adults did lose money, they lost more. With the rise of the digital economy, scammers now reach targets by social media and text, as well as phone and email. Keith Peters reporting.
President Biden set to formally announce a national monument designation for the Greater Grand Canyon, impacting more than 1,500 square miles that are outside of Grand Canyon National Park. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. So flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is... Oh, we had the child playing. Just having fun with your headphones. Good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Crazy Viernes.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
I heard a couple bells go off. I was like, it's getting rambunctious in there.
Oh, Rick's son was in here playing with everything. He was
here's all the toys.
Time.
Right?
He would go from this mic, and then he put on your headphones to this mic, and he started doing his own radio show over here.
Nice.
He's having fun.
Heck yeah. Dude, when I was
enjoying it, actually.
When I was a
him just do his thing.
If somebody would have let me come into a radio station just kind of have free range, I would have been that kid. I was I think it was like 3rd or 4th grade. We went to this like Oklahoma Educational Center, and it had all these different departments, and each one of them was like, it let you take the job of, like one was a supermarket. You could work at a supermarket, or you could go shopping. There was another one that was like a science lab or something like that. But then they had the TV station where you could go and like put on the whole newscast, and they had the screen to do the weather. And I spent most of my time in that room.
In that room there.
Just to get to play with like broadcast stuff.
My best memory of my grandfather, my father's father. They lived up in Binghamton, New York.
Okay.
Shenango Bridge, technically. It was a small town. Binghamton's the biggest town. But anyway, my grandfather, he owned his own water equipment company for many years. But one of the other things he did for a spell in the 70s, 80s, I think he stopped in the 80s. He got a little too old, I think. But my grandfather was a volunteer firefighter for the Shenango Bridge Fire Department. Volunteer fire department. So I will never forget one day he took me, and me only. It was not my brother, not any of the other 13 other grandkids, just me. And him and I, he took me to the fire station. And just like what you were saying, carte blanche. I got to put on the big coats that were 7 times 2 size, put in the boots, the fire hat, climb in every single fire truck, get behind the wheel, climb all over the trucks. Then he took me back to their little area where he gave me ice cream that was like in the kitchen, the little firefighters, because it's a house area. They live there sometimes and all. So
was there a pole?
No pole.
See, this is something I brought up because we were talking about
this one. I don't think it was a 2-story. Now that I think about it,
the last time I filled in for you, I was talking to, I believe it was the little theater.
Yeah.
And we were chatting about how I'd love to go to a fire department, but I think all of ours here in Roswell are 1-story, so none of them have the fire pole.
Yeah, I forgot to do that last hour, and I remembered. Oh yeah, so we can try that this hour. But have you tried?
I have not.
So Roy procured a Little Caesars pineapple Pepsi.
He's the tiny pair of Caesars. Little Caesars.
Little Caesars.
How'd you cut the tiny ribbon? With my Little Caesars.
Little Caesars. But yes, we got the pineapple. And that's is that the 16-ounce can?
This is a tall boy. It's pineapple Pepsi to go along with their
pineapple ham
pineapple,
pizza.
Yeah, the Canadian or Hawaiian pizza,
yeah.
which was actually created in Canada. Fun fact. But I've been seeing stuff on social about this, and I
have a fun fact about that on my fun facts when I do the fun facts.
Oh, there you
go. The Hawaiian pizza by a Canadian man, and then I do a whole thing about Tex, Colorado. From Detroit.
So I've been wanting to try this, but every time I see it talked about online, all I ever see is the before. It's like, well, I'm going to try this, and you never see a follow-up.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see what this actually... Give me a tissue here. I didn't get
a tissue.
His mic there.
Sorry, I'm turning your mic off. But anyway, back to real quick. I got distracted on the other thing.
Yeah.
But that was the coolest memory by far. My grandfather and I mean, I've had some fun ones, but like if you ask me what's your fondest memory, I go right to that.
Oh, sure.
To the fire station day. That was because he used to have a scanner up in his bedroom too, and that was the only place in the house where he had it. So like if I was lucky enough to get to sleep upstairs, normally I slept in the bedroom downstairs, which didn't have air conditioning. The one upstairs did.
See, my grandma's house was the exact opposite. That upstairs room was a tomb. It was miserable.
Really? No, they had window units upstairs for the AC, but nothing downstairs.
Oh, okay.
And but they lived in upstate New York. It was different.
Yeah.
Different weather, different. It's not like here. And so I mean, we get hot in there. Don't get me wrong, but I remember like hearing the scanner and just way enamored with the calls, and because I felt like I had some kind of inside baseball look on what nefarious things were going on in town.
Right.
And so I get to sit there and listen. Had no idea what I was listening to.
That was the best. You get to listen to the scanner radio back in the day.
Man.
I didn't know what half the things they were saying was, but I was in.
Yeah.
My
well, Kim's grandmother notoriously listened to the scanner, and so my wife tells of a story of like her and her friends got pulled over for speeding and they were worried about getting in trouble, and Kim was so worried that grandma was going to be listening on the scanner because she does that kind of thing, and I think she steered clear, but there was like a sweating bullets moment for
just missed it by that much. I remember I used to play. My dad had an old Ford I think it was Ranger XLT, but he had a CB radio in it.
Nice.
And it was a working CB radio. So I'd go on and just kind of like scan channels and randomly talk to people who would talk back. Most of the time I would just listen. I would just kind of like lurk.
Dad, like for a hot minute, I think we borrowed one or had one for something. And for a hot minute he was playing with it. But he was just doing, hey, what's your 20? Nothing really, just being idly like, hey, chili burger, huh? You know what I mean? Just chatting. He wasn't really doing anything. But but then it went away. I think it just CBs just went away. It just they got not.
There's
popular.
still, I mean, it's still a sort of a thing now. Of course, CB sort of evolved to ham radio, and I know.
Do truckers still use CBs?
I believe they do. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if that was still the truckers are all connected on CB. Still.
I got to imagine they still have some sort of.
I don't know if cell
radio.
phones changed all that or not. I'm not sure. I have to get some truckers to tell us.
Right.
Yeah.
Truckers out there, if you're in the know, let us know.
Real quick, while y'all are prepping the Pepsi.
Prepping the Pepsi.
I saw a Facebook deal where it was, how they have these little articles with all the pictures and all that, 20 ways to Well, this one was AI. They asked Europeans or they asked AI what Europeans thought Americans looked like in each state. And so I saw New Mexico's. Roy's looking at it. It's pretty much aliens meet Breaking Bad.
Is it AI generated?
Yeah, it's AI generated. That's New Mexico.
Problem. Nice.
It kind of looks like Cillian Murphy.
I have a problem with AI pictures.
Yeah, they're weird.
There's such an uncanny valley that I hate looking at them now.
Well, and there's a certain creepiness to them.
I could tell it was an AI from when I saw it.
Because always they have like this weird like shadow on them almost.
Well, to be honest,
or darkness.
We didn't do so bad. Like you look at New Mexico's. Like I saw some way worse ones. Like the folks in Wisconsin. Oh man, they should be mad at that.
Anytime you see something with words, that is unnerving to me. Like I saw somebody work up a mock-up poster for what a Magic 8-Ball movie would look like, and it showed the 8-ball, but it just had random letters on it. I was like, oh, it just gave me chills.
California's pretty good.
By the way,
a Starbucks cup and a little dog on there, kind of like Paris Hilton.
I got to tell you, strong pineapple from this coming from this soda. Now, did you want to try it also?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, give him the cup.
Like here's Ohio. I mean, that's not right.
Go ahead.
It's like Baby Huey and Baby Dewey over here.
Sip from one side, I'll sip from the other.
Okay, so this is the
pineapple Pepsi.
So it
definitely has the pineapple smell. Which is I was a fan of the mango Pepsi when that came out back in the day, which had a real heavy mango flavor, so I'm curious. All right. Right there, so.
I'm not really getting a lot of pineapple.
Yeah, I told you it's not that.
I get it. You get it on the front end.
I do, yeah.
And then
but it's all Pepsi
away.
on the back.
Yeah,
because I can distinctly taste that full flavored Pepsi
on the
back end.
Have you seen those? The water bottles called Circle CIRKUL,
yeah.
where it's like they don't put the flavor in the water. What they do is they have these scent pods that they put next to the spout.
Okay.
So that while you're drinking, you're smelling the thing that you're drinking, and it makes you taste it. It's, you taste a lot of things with your nose. So I feel like the smell from this is pineapple. So you're tasting it in the front end.
Yeah.
But because it's got that Pepsi flavor, it just finishes with
It's
Pepsi.
not bad as far as flavored fruit sodas go. I would like to taste a zero version of that.
Yeah,
because I don't like the Pepsi taste.
The mango.
That's the only thing I'm not a big fan of. Is it tastes like Pepsi, which
The
I'm not a
mango
huge-
Pepsi had way more of a mango wallop than this does.
You don't think the pineapple elevates the Pepsi taste?
Mango wallop, by the way.
Well, it's fine in the beginning, but the aftertaste is Pepsi, and it's full syrup, so I taste that, which I don't like anymore. And so, to me, I think I'd appreciate that as a zero. Like if that was a zero, I'd probably like it. But because it's a full leaded, it's too syrupy for me.
I didn't
But that's
see it. Yeah,
any full leaded soda.
Yeah, they didn't have a zero there.
My only problem with that soda is too syrupy.
I don't
and
think they would
that's
do a zero version.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't have that mango wallop though. Oh, fun fact: mango wallop title of your next adult video.
That's a good band name, Mango
Right?
Wallop.
Mango wallop.
Now taking the stage, Mango Wallop.
Polynesian punk core.
I gotta change the picture.
Yeah, the smell is the most potent part of it. Hits your nose.
It's definitely there's West Virginia. The guy's wrestling a pig.
Yeah,
I'll
it
send
looks
you.
like he's dancing with the
Or
pig.
dancing.
Actually,
Could be dancing.
I'll send you a link to this page. AI generated what the movie posters for some of these toy movies will look like.
I feel like they nailed Arizona.
Disturbing.
I feel like they nailed Arizona.
That's great.
Santa Claus on a bicycle, basically. Colorado, that guy looks like he's been lost in the mountains for about 12 years and he just turned up. Now, Indiana, that looks Children of the Corn, Stephen King horror movie to me.
That's what I'm saying. Though. They always do. They cannot do faces without that don't look soulless.
Yeah, like this Kansas guy. It looks like this whole family was just murdered by people. That's what the expression on his face.
they're always the same type of picture too.
Oh, this is bad. Look at Missouri. It's literally just this carcass of an animal.
What the heck
This
even
fat
is
boy
that?
sitting there. It's a pile of meat carcass. It looks like that. You know what it looks like? That pile of poo from the original Jurassic Park where we're
there were parts in it.
Yeah, he goes, that's a lot of poop.
That's what that pile of
Yeah.
Pile of poop.
Yeah, our guest isn't here, is it? Oh, I just heard the door open. So I think our guest is here. All right, it is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's get you up to date on the weather. Wow, that looks festive. Oh, sorry, I'm still looking at state pictures.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things are drying out over eastern New Mexico, but we do still have a chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm later on today. Pretty hot. Our afternoon highs 100 to 105 and a mix of sun and clouds. Overnight, just cloudy. Our low in the mid-70s and then more heat coming up on Wednesday. No rain in the forecast. We'll be at around 105 again on Thursday, and we'll stay sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 85 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 35%. Winds currently out of the northwest at 7 miles per hour. There is a 20% chance. 80% chance it won't, but a 20% chance it showers, mainly after 3 this afternoon. Otherwise sunny, high of 102. Winds will be out of the southwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour. We're looking at a 30% chance of rain, for tonight, mainly before 9 p.m. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 73, south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny, 104, northwest winds 5 to 15. Thursday, sunny and 103, north winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, sunny and 104 once again. Looking at the weekend, 20% chance of rain on Saturday, otherwise mostly sunny and 103. 20% chance of rain for Sunday as well, otherwise sunny with a high of 102. And Monday, when you're back at work and school, sunny and 101. So we'll see. Maybe get a little rain this afternoon, this evening, or this weekend. Certainly won't complain if we do. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a 2.5-minute commercial break, and then Amy McVeigh-Tejas with the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico will join us on the other side. Don't go away.
When you or a loved one need medical transport, cost and ability to pay shouldn't get in the way. That's why Trans-Aero Medevac, through the generous support of the Written in Red Foundation and PY Foundation, provide air ambulance memberships to the residents of Eddy County at no out-of-pocket cost. As an Eddy County resident, as long as you're flown by Trans-Aero Medevac, Trans-Aero will accept your insurance or third-party payment with no additional out-of-pocket expense to you. Best of all, as a resident of Eddy County, you're automatically enrolled, free of charge. Because when minutes matter, financial burden should be the last thing on anyone's mind. You have a choice. Be sure to request Trans-Aero, a streamlined, personal, patient, and family-friendly air ambulance service. For more information, visit transaeromedevac.org. Trans-Aero Medevac. They really are wings for life.
Your destination for health is closer than you think. You don't have to drive hours for personalized care. You can get high-quality health care right here, close to home, at Artesia General Hospital. From hip, knee, and shoulder replacements to sports injuries, general surgery, pain management, and wound care, our providers will help you get back to doing the things you love right here in Southeast New Mexico. Artesia General Hospital is here for you when you need us. To learn more about some of our key service lines, visit artesiageneral.com/closer.
I've heard it said, speaking my mind is easy, speaking it tactfully, not so much. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
Proverbs 15:15 says, a gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. Sometimes my greatest accomplishment is keeping my mouth shut. There are times when we argue that it would be easy to lash out. So I have a choice to make. I can either feed the fire or quench it with my words.
Julie and I have learned there's going to be arguments, but we've learned to fight and argue, not to be right, but to get the situation right.
So the next time you're in an argument, try saying something kind from a genuine heart to bring peace in your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Slugs have 4 noses, but no fingers to pick them. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, wearing her Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico hat today, Amy McVeigh-Tejas back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good.
Well, we are down to weeks away from the Guy Penrod concert.
We are.
We're down. We're officially in August now.
Whoa.
Kids are back to school.
Kids are back to school. Shout out to all schools, and we're sending prayers out.
Yeah.
All educators.
Yep.
Everybody. All
That's
affiliated.
Right.
All employees.
All the Gateway folks get one more day of rest, and then
yeah, that's right.
Then they're back at it.
Shout
tomorrow.
out to Landon. You're going back to school. That's my grandson. You got a couple extra days.
Got one more day of a reprieve there.
Enjoy it while you can, Landon.
Yeah. But so busy time. So I would say now is your 2-minute warning on getting tickets. You've been waiting and kind of, I don't know, for whatever reason, delaying on getting your tickets for the Guy Penrod concert. Golden Circle's gone. They're sold out.
And don't be mad at me for it, please.
We warned you. We've been telling you.
We did. We gave you a warning.
We're out now. But we still have general admission tickets left. They are going fast. Therefore, if you wait till, say, August the 25th or 26th, we might have to tell you no.
Yep.
So get it done this week. That way you won't have to worry about that. We still got plenty good availability of general admission seating.
Yeah. Oh, there's great. And that's great seating, too.
Yeah. Yep. And so you just get there a little early and then you pick your seat.
So if you're listening and think, that's not for me, that's not my thing.
Pass it on. Pay
to
for it.
many people, it is a big deal. I just got a call from a lady in Carlsbad. She had known Guy Penrod since he was a little boy. It is a huge deal.
There's a generation of people that Guy Penrod is a household name to.
So if you do nothing, we've got some social media posts, and one of our social media posts is a great full-page informative bio on Guy Penrod. So follow us on Instagram or Facebook and share that to others. We've got Texas, we've got Colorado, we've got California, we've got Arizona coming. It's a big tilt to a lot. So if you did nothing but share the social media, and I keep getting asked who he is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say it again. Look on our social media post, read a great bio, or give me a call and we'll give you the brief overview. But just share that. We're trying to get the word out to Artesia.
He's a legendary gospel singer.
Artesia Ruidoso. I was in Ruidoso over the weekend. The local chambers and different things like that. Make calls and share, just getting the word out for those people who can.
Absolutely.
Number 2, pay it forward. We do need it. We've paid it forward a lot.
Good.
Huge thank you to Gary. We're impacting the lives even to individuals, with special...
Well, we have a lot of volunteers and things that help out, but they can't afford a ticket.
That's
but
exactly
they love to
right.
go, and so we have generous people that say, well, I'm not available to go that night, but here's $100. I have a couple people go.
That's perfect.
And
perfect.
And then we say, guess what? Thank you for helping us. Thank you for being part. Here's a ticket. Enjoy yourself on
We
the
want to
31st.
say a special thank you to so many sponsors, and I shouldn't focus on one, but I'm going to. The Kremlin family and Toyota have stepped it up. They're doing great things, and they always do that in the community. So huge shout out to them. We need a couple of more sponsors just to help us cover expenses.
Okay.
That would be directly. So if you
any
called and
businesses
said,
out
Amy,
there?
I may not give you a special amount, but what expenses do you have? Maybe our corporation could just help you cover expenses. I'm going to tell you right now, if you gave us a call and just help cover expenses, our goal is to have this all going directly into operating, and that would be wonderful. So we just need a little bit more expenses covered. Would love to have that, but nothing's more than paying it forward. So let's say this. If you're kind enough, I'm going to give a shout out. If you're kind enough as a donor to do nothing but cover expenses, 100% in the name of that donor, we would love to pay it forward some tickets. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. But and so this is a fundraiser for the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. The money we raise from this event goes back into maintenance and upkeep on the J.P. White House.
Yes.
Paying for helping cover costs for programs like our 4th grade school tours, our Sunday Fun Day events,
Get some
and
history
other
clubs going.
Yeah, history clubs,
Schools
things like
back
that.
in. If you're listening, we want to get history clubs at all schools.
Absolutely, and so it's all goes toward that. Now, our scholarship side, that money's handled differently through other donors and things, so it doesn't go into that part.
Shout out on that while I'm thinking about it, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it just came to my mind. We've got New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy group out. Got a great group going again.
Awesome.
The finale of our scholarships will be in December when this amazing group graduates from New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy.
Awesome.
If you're listening and would say, hey, man, I'm into this Guy Penrod thing, how's another way we can help? Hey, we've got all kinds of opportunities. That is one of them. If you would like to give a one-time gift going directly to scholarships in 2023, that is your golden opportunity. We would be honored. I think right now we've got $2,500 going to this graduating class. Man, we would love to make it like $3,000, $3,500. That would be great.
Absolutely.
And even do a little fun party or something for these kids. Just getting their next step and us investing in their future.
Absolutely,
That's a great opportunity.
Yeah, it's a great organization, a great work that goes on over there, and these kids really do have a future when they graduate through there, and whether it's to go on to a higher education thing where they can use a scholarship or through a trade if they want to expand their trade skills that they've been learning through Job Corps.
And I am
or
the first
just establishing that
or opening opportunity for a future dream thinking. I could never go to New Mexico Military Institute. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about that. We've got a board president that's affiliated with the Institute and would be happy to live those dreams out for that individual that's got great aspirations. And, hey, sky's the limit. Any way we can help, that's part of our history. And I heard just the other day, why is the Historical Society into scholarships if y'all are having so many problems around the property? Well, you know what? it's amazing to me.
We have two different things we're going on in there. They're two separate
They're
things.
totally different, but it doesn't mean we can't be doing the same
and
thing.
one doesn't impact the other either.
Yes, and I love that people, it's interesting to me giving.
Mm-hmm.
A person may give a $50 bill. They would never want it for one thing, but they want it for another. We just had somebody drop a $100 bill for our tours the other day. Hey, listen, if you have a special passion, if you will,
well, and education is part of the
it's part of our
mission
history,
statement.
It's part of our mission
the Historical
statement.
Society.
But we are investing in kids for the future generations that 100% might come right back to Roswell and impact history. We may have the next Elvis Fleming. We may have the next Morgan Nelson. Or, hey, we're needing the next future generations of Mary Lou Glass, that silent servant.
The more you support and understand your historical societies and the history in which they speak of, the better you understand why the world is the way the world is and how it works and everything else, because you do enough digging through our archives and everything, you're going to figure it out. Because that's what this is for, is to preserve that and to educate and to inspire others to go and research this. Because guess what? These are going to be the people that are going to be our leaders.
That's right.
And God forbid, I hope they have some history in their background,
You better believe it.
they don't make the same dumb mistakes that our forefathers or people before us have made, that we can correct by simply understanding through history.
That's exactly
do the things that were good in history and enhance it, and learn from the mistakes and not do those again.
That's exactly right. Mike, last night on my phone, it popped up, and it says, do you remember 5 years ago? We want to give a shout out to the Merced Gonzalez family. Yesterday was 5 years.
Awesome.
Can you believe it? Where does the time
goes
go?
by quick, doesn't it?
So I sent a shout out to Danielle Gonzalez. She's one of our treasures that God gave us through that celebration. It kind of birthed this mutual admiration. We'd always had admiration for the Gonzalez family. But God opened doors and connections. And Danielle Gonzalez is one of those dynamic leaders, whether she wants to admit it or not, that helps us almost every day. And that Gonzalez connection lives on. So shout out to David Gonzalez and loving memory of him. If you want to see his amazing face and connection to the Historical Society, it doesn't take you long to put in Historical Society for Southeast Mexico on YouTube, and he's part of our video. So just honoring that legacy. His sweet wife Mary, I know, is coming to the concert. She said, I love that
She will
sound.
be there.
She appreciates that musical aspect. So.
Well, and I was joking, but I'm not. Earlier, there is a lot of ladies that find him quite fishing.
Yes, and you know
so
what? Ironically,
they're going
with
to
Mary,
see the man,
she can close her eyes and appreciate that vocal.
Yeah.
She's a golden voice in herself. You know, it's funny, Mike, because I was David Gonzalez was the golden voice, I think. You know what? In his loving memory, I might challenge saying Mary was the golden voice.
Ooh, there you go.
Boy, once she opens that mouth, she makes that joyful noise. So maybe it's that golden voice combo together there.
Sure. It's but
I did have to give a shout out
with the voice, and it kind of.
I did have to give a shout out. We're getting ready for the 31st annual Heritage Dinner, honoring our sweet, precious, golden, silent servant, Mary Lou Glass.
And it'll be a drive-through event.
There is not a day that we do not miss Mary Lou Glass. She is irreplaceable. Energizer Bunny.
Well, and she's one of those folks that we appreciate everything she did while she was here, and then even after she's gone, we knew she did so much, but then you realize so much more that was just unnoticed or undone. You're like, well, that's something she always did.
That's exactly it.
And so there's that realization, I think, has come to a lot of us too.
It really does.
Yeah.
But if you need more information, or if you say, what is the Heritage Dinner, or who is Mary Lou Glass, we have a memorial tribute on our website for Mary Lou Glass. If you think, who was she? Well, she is the family legacy. She was the local family legacy, and we've still got some family members, but she is the family legacy. That event, Thursday, November the 9th, will be a drive-through event only. Family is really excited about it. Collect your books now. We'll be receiving books in honor of Mary Lou Glass to pay it forward. We'd be honored to do so. A great menu selected by some of her favorites. Want to give a shout out to Peppers.
Helping us on this one
Peppers
again?
is amazing, and we spent a lot of time really just intentionally reflecting the palette, if you will, because Mary Lou Glass loved to cook in different things. So this is a reflection of her. Go to our website at roswellhistory.org. This event is up on our website. It's a classy, and I believe huge shout out to Danielle I don't know if you can see it. This is such a classy image. Mary Lou Glass was a silent servant, but she represented class and distinction, and I think this event will intentionally reflect that also. So
Good.
mark your calendars, November 9th. Reservations can be made already.
Okay.
And you can pay it forward on that, too. So if you say, I really don't care much about being involved with that event, if you want to make like a $500, let me give you a perfect example. If you made a $500 donation for the Heritage Dinner, we could bless 5 couples or 10, or a family.
Yeah, it's kind of like the table version where it feeds 10,
right.
where you'll get 5 boxes.
Exactly.
Each box feeds 2 people.
Yes, and I don't think we've announced it, Mike, and I don't even know that, I don't think you know what we're doing. This year, if you buy a $500 bundle, we have got an amazing commemorative gift that you're going to get with that. It's not a center.
And they deliver those to folks.
We do, 100%.
And they'll deliver to like if you got, I got 10 meals. I don't want all 10 to go to one place.
We will deliver them.
Forward here,
bunch
and
of our board members.
As long as they're even numbered,
That's right.
we can't make them odd numbered.
If you want Mike Winters to special deliver
I've
your
been out
dinner,
to a couple places.
You sure have, and you can have. Hey, if you want a John LeMay autographed book along with that, we can make that happen. You want a her print? We can make that happen. But November the 9th, make your reservation. Don't put that off when we really want you to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's to honor her and her family and what so much that they've been a part of. We celebrate her and celebrate the thing. Sure, we miss her to this day and miss everything about her, but we are so thankful for the time we had with her. And
100%.
And that's what this event's about.
It is.
We just want to, as much as we want to honor her, we also kind of look at this as, reminder to the family and stuff and how much she was, how important she was to our community.
That's for sure. And a special thank you to Zoa, her beautiful, amazing daughter that is here, taking great care of Wayne. We love Wayne too. But Zoa's been so much help just continuing that family legacy and making sure the society connects with the Glass family. That is very important to us. That will, as far as I'm around and on behalf of our board, we will never not keep that connection going, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Makes sense.
That's important.
We do have another event that's kind of in the mix of all this that we want to put on your Rolodex or radar here. If you're a book lover, this one's going to be right in your wheelhouse.
Yes, books and blooms.
Yes. Yeah, if you love flowers too, I should say. Don't forget our flower folks.
Well, we've got
Books
a lot
and
of book flowers, and hey, we're diversifying ourselves.
That's right.
You can come from the book aspect, or if you're an amazing follower of Farmhouse Roots, but you've never been to our events, that is why I love this event. We're pulling it all together, and we love the Pierce family through Farmhouse Roots. They're a member of the Historical Society. They're part of our legacy. That's a family legacy.
That's
but
cool.
We're excited about this event coming up on Saturday, October the 14th from 10 to 2. It will be in the Archives facility. Farmhouse Roots will have their amazing flowers right around that fall time. And I know Molly was really excited, already talking about all the amazing colors and what she'll have. If you want to know more about Farmhouse Roots, or you wonder what in the world are you talking about, or what type of flowers they'll have, follow them on social media, give them a call, or even stop by. If you're not familiar with their location, they're right across from the zoo. And I know they have special hours. I know they're open on the weekends. Stop by and get more information about that. And they would be great to partner if individuals want something more specific to see if it's possible for this event. So October the 14th, mark your calendar, 10 to 2. John LeMay and our amazing archival group. We've got a great group, great committee, getting those books ready and everything. We'll have a lot of rare, one-of-a-kinds. We are not selling off our inventory. These are duplicates, triplets, quadruplets,
You're not
whatever,
getting
sextuplets.
That's what I tell you every time. Is,
That's right.
Don't worry, you're not getting our good stuff.
No.
You're getting our
no.
doubles. Like our collection. We ain't breaking that up. But a lot of times we get rare books and things. We have multiple copies, and we don't need to keep 6 copies of one book on the shelf because our space is limited.
That's exactly right.
So this is what we do. We offer it to people that like to collect it. And we use the money to go back into the archives and the programs at the
That's right.
at the
I'll give you
Historical
a perfect example. A couple of weeks ago, we had a family lose a loved one, and they brought a big old box. And I'm telling you, I think it was every one of John LeMay's, every one of Donna Blake Burchell's. It was almost like our library in a box, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, that special individual was a collector. They knew those local treasures. These are treasures in that box.
Awesome.
But we have 4 or 5.
Most of those we have already on hand.
So that is
yeah.
a perfect example. And we've had people calling saying, hey, what kind of books do you take? We can't just sell everything. We support other books, and again, and so many that do everything. So these are going to be historically significant, local New Mexico type books or whatever. Call the archives, leave a message at 622-1176 if you need more information about the books we can receive or what's available. I know all of our entire Archives Committee would be happy. If you've been wanting a special book, we can try to connect to see what we can do too.
Put some requests out there.
Yes,
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. Because,
that's
but yeah,
exciting.
these are generally books that are out of print, where things you just can't get them on Amazon or
Right.
wherever you go to get online, or you can't just walk into a bookstore in town and pick up. These are books that that were, generally they're older. They were written, and maybe a couple editions went out, and then they stopped putting them in print, and they're just not available anymore.
That's right. And then while I'm thinking about John LeMay will be there to autograph books, and Donna Blake Burchell will be coming from Carlsbad.
Awesome.
So if you need an autographed copy from her, she'll be here.
Two good storytellers to idle and pass some time, and so if you want to talk about any of the stories in
Be a
their
full
books,
house on that day.
Yeah.
You might come a little bit early.
yeah, get there early. By the way, I noticed John's getting into like the Wicked. I saw in his books he's starting to go.
Hey, that's right.
Where Donna
and
goes
we
in a
need
little
to
of his
get
stuff.
him
Yeah.
on to talk more about his. If you want to know more about John LeMay's newest, I think you can follow him on social media. Give the museum a call. We'll get more information about him. And we do need to get him on. He's really excited about that book, and I know Donna is too.
Yeah.
So, and we've got some new books on the way.
Good deal.
So,
very
yes,
exciting
if you
stuff.
need
But
more
like
about
we
that.
said, Guy Penrod, that's the more pressing
the thing.
Get your tickets now for that. You can go
Please.
to Grace Community Church. They're only accepting cash.
That's exactly right. So
there,
Grace, I
or
believe,
check,
open
right?
8:30 to 4.
Do they do check?
They can do check. They can
Okay.
do cash. They have general admission. You're welcome to call Grace for their hours. But yes, they can do check or cash. If you live in Roswell and it's inconvenient for whatever reason to stop by, give us a call. We'll mail you tickets. You can call the museum at 622-8333. We can take your credit card and we'll just mail you a ticket. A lady needed one delivered. She had been injured, wasn't able to get out. We delivered her tickets. That's no problem. We'll be happy to do that. So if you need more information about Guy Penrod or the tickets or to pay it forward, or we're really, really asking people consider just covering some expenses, call the museum at 622-8333. Email me at historydirector@outlook.com, or even text me at 575-915-4471. The way you and I do this, Mike, we always do things backwards. The first thing I wanted to talk about today, we're going to save the best for last, is our blood drive is today.
Yes, today.
We've had some people that are sick, and we've had some cancellations. In celebration of Stephanie and her new venture, Stephanie Seabreeze. We're going to shout out to Stephanie Seabreeze.
Has she moved on from Vitalis?
She has.
I did not know that.
She got a promotion.
Oh, good for her.
And I believe that I believe it's Tennessee.
Oh,
she's
she's going to Tennessee bound. Okay.
So, in honor of Stephanie, and she is a member of the Historical Society, by the way, she took such great care of us. We need to fill up this blood drive. I know we have spots available.
Okay.
If you want to
Come
text
on
or
by.
call me at 575-915-4471, or stop by between 12 and 5, I would rather you text us first so we can connect you, but I'm going to put some offers on the table. When I left the museum just a while ago, I think we officially had at least 4 spots available.
Okay.
So this offer is on the table. If an individual is able to text or call me right now, and I've got my phone with me, at 575-915-4471 to donate blood, you do that right now, we will give you a Guy Penrod ticket for supporting Vitalian.
Nice.
And I'm telling you, there's some great swag courtesy of New Mexico Military Institute.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's not
for
all
the
you're
first
getting.
comers, if you call and say, I would love some homemade bread, thank you, Margaret Lackey. She's been down a little bit, but it did not stop her from making some bread.
The bread's
That's first
tasty.
come, first served. You better ask me, or else I'll just keep it and take it home. No, I'm just kidding. I won't keep
Well, and
I
those
didn't
are
give it any
those are little good. Like when we
Those
have
are
our
blessings,
Mary Lou Glass Heritage Dinner here in
Yes,
November.
you can have some homemade
little
bread.
goodies like salsa and the homemade bread tend to show up at things like
Margaret Lackey's special pickle recipe.
Yeah.
Those things. If you receive pickles from Mary Lou Glass at Christmas time,
Yeah.
we're going to have some of that too. So, but I
Because
need
that's November.
you to
That's biscuitita season. I love them biscuititas. Yeah.
You know what? We can throw all those special things. All the special blessings from all the events are going to come through the celebration of Mary Lou Glass because she loved all of that.
Yeah.
We need to fill up that blood drive.
But
Text
yes,
me
call
or
or
call
text
me
now.
575-915-4471. If you've never donated blood before, I can connect you with, I believe it's Emily
Okay.
at Italian, and she will take care of you. She did that yesterday. A volunteer Mike came into the museum yesterday. We said, by the way, can you donate blood? We literally did it all over the phone.
Cool.
He's going to get blessings. Boom, help the society.
That's great.
So there
and
you go.
saving lives, because that's the thing at the other side is every
Yes.
pint of blood you donate is going to save a life, or make sure that the hospitals in our state have blood whenever someone needs it.
And I certainly know that Historical Society Board of Directors and myself are honored to think that's part of our legacy. 100% we're coming. I think we've got 3 or 4 board members donating blood. It's not just us asking. We're doing
Sure.
that also. I'll be there. I'll
It's
do that myself.
I always say donating blood's one of the easiest things you can do, or has the biggest impact on helping people with the least amount of effort on your part. Like really at the end of the day, you're just walking in, letting them take some blood from you. You just sit there.
Yes.
It doesn't really hurt. It doesn't hurt.
No.
It's
I mean,
all
it's gonna
built
be
up
a
in our head.
second.
Afterwards, you
is
get pumped up with drinks and,
Oh,
and
yes.
snacks
They
and
have
things.
treats.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you're done. You walk
That's right.
away, and you come back 45 a month or two later,
That's
and
right.
then you can do it again. And that 30 minutes you just sitting around chewing the fat and then drinking some tea and some cookies afterwards.
Right.
Just saved a life.
That's a well-oiled engine on
Yeah.
those buses.
And-
Vitaliant does an amazing
Yeah.
job. They take it in. I mean, you're in and out of there 30 minutes. I know you've got to wait 5 or 10 minutes. or whatever.
and
It's in
like
and out. It is.
and you
well-oiled
learn
engine.
stuff about you too. Like if you don't know your blood type, you're going to know your blood type by the time you've donated blood the first time.
That's
if
right.
you they do a lot of times they'll do screenings for like the glucose or not glucose, but cholesterol
Yes,
and that kind of stuff.
Different things. That's exactly right.
I know during COVID they were doing antibody testing and stuff. I don't know if that's still a thing
I
or
don't
that's
know.
kind of gone. But
You're
they
right
do
about
that
all
kinda-
those things.
Yeah.
You doing one thing helping can
Yeah,
link
so they
into
give you
another. That's exactly
little
right.
blessings too.
That's right.
Saying, hey, thanks for donating. By the way, you might want to talk to your doctor about this.
That's exactly right. Before we run out of time, huge shout out to Fred Boggs. He is our volunteer of the quarter at the Historical Society. And we really appreciate everything he does. He's helped oversee all of our grounds, and
He has a Herculean task of that grounds committee. Yeah.
And if you do not care to do much inside, but part of your passion is just kind of doing things outside, we would love to have more individuals help Fred out. Last thing I will say, if people are not members of the Historical Society and would love to become a member of the Historical Society, we need you. But one thing we're really excited about doing, it's on the front of the cover of our newsletter. We are working with Eric Naria. Shout out to him.
Okay.
He's an amazing board member of the Historical Society, working with our archival and the Historical Society in general regarding us starting up an oil and gas collection. That is certainly part of our history. We want to be more intentional of connecting those dots of our rich legacy of oil and gas through photos, through clippings, just connecting those dots and having that
Even
be
some
in a
artifacts
part of
that-
our collection.
that would fit in a building.
Our intention is to have a display coming up, or an exhibit, if you will. Our goal is to have that. I'd love to have it up before Christmas or even after Christmas, around January. If you want more information, contact Eric Naria if you know him personally, or call the Historical Society at 622-8333 to become members of the Historical Society, but most importantly, to support this oil and gas collection. Just telling our rich history of, man, we have been blessed in this area. And on behalf of the Historical Society, we get blessed. And I can't thank enough those silent servants like a Rolla Hinkle. Yes, if you're listening, you're probably rolling your eyes, Rolla the Third, saying, "Oh my gosh, why are you mentioning my name?" Well, you're our neighbor, so we see you a lot.
Yes.
But we want to thank you for all you do. If you see a need and you're driving through and you say, "Why the heck do you have that problem?" He helps us out with it. And I think he's perfect part of restoration of our whole area. He's really trying to just beautify, I guess, if you will, or spruce up our historical district.
Well, it's our neighborhood.
It is.
And they're our neighbors. And think
I'm
of it
so
like
thankful they are our
kind of like a business neighborhood watch where everyone's looking out and helping each other and
I
keeping
think
tabs on each other.
He could have that, a nickname, the watchdog. He is.
That's kind of
He's there. We see the needs. That's what it's
but all
about.
the, like the businesses and homes in that area.
First Presbyterian Church and the Roswell Independent School District. We're all a family.
Yeah.
And we work together.
Yeah, it's just part of the old neighborhood there. And it's just, the history of that area is a lot richer than you and I realize sometimes.
Oh, for
and
sure.
That's the cool part about
100%. We've got to take care of the area.
But one other thing I do want to mention too is don't forget the J.P. White home, the museum. Yep. We're doing tours by request anytime. If you've got family coming to town or a group that wants to do something, reach out to us. We'll do a personalized tour for you. We'll make arrangements. We
did one bright and early just the other morning. Yeah. So when people say, "Why are y'all still doing appointments only?" Well, we're doing appointments bright and early and kind of late to work around people's schedule. Sure. And it's really doing
and it's a better tour. You're getting a personalized tour, and I mean we had great tours before. But,
we did.
But it's
that
you.
one-on-one unique connection.
So questions and things that maybe in a bigger group you wouldn't have got a chance to ask.
Miss Jane and Fred and even Josiah Strange, they do so great. And Melanie Deason, so many other. We've got great tours. But going a little bit more specific to people and what their desires or passions are. And we're thrilled and honored to do that. And we love to not know but find out together kind of thing. We're learning all the time, making those connections. And we're really excited about it. So if you need a tour, want a tour, and need more information about that, keep collecting your loose change. If you have it, give us a call. We'll pick it up.
And then as your holiday events and things come across here, don't forget we have our rental facilities, the archive facilities available for rent. About 75 comfortably is I think the fire marshal limit on there. There's 50. A full kitchen.
Yes, there is. Very nice.
If you need access to food prep or any of that kind of stuff, reach out to the Historical Society. Go to the RoswellNMhistory.org website. And then reach out to us through that way if you want to use the facility for rental, or if you have ideas for Sunday fun days or things you want to present. You're like, hey, I've always want to do this, or if you need help connecting with any of our other partners.
That's right. Well, and we've had to kind of focus on fundraising. Well, we didn't kind of. We've had to focus on fundraising. So we're kind of focusing on fundraisers that lend into that right now just because we need to cover some expenses. But we will consider and work with people in any way possible. We've had a lot of requests lately, Mike, for photos. People are wanting photos. People are sprucing up, all the time. Sprucing up their offices and different things. We are more than happy to work with you. Our archival team, great group of people, quite a few different people working over there. Call the archives at 622-1176 for specific pictures and requests. We'll be happy to help you. We've done a lot of that recently.
Yeah, we do. Pretty much if you see old pictures like in restaurants or businesses around town, guess where those photos came from?
That's right.
That's
so honor and celebrate the legacy of the Historical Society and telling its history. So we
absolutely. Absolutely. And then come donate blood today.
Yes.
Get your Guy Penrod tickets and you can start getting your Mary Lou Glass
and shout out, Mike, I got a text from somebody wanting to donate blood and they're going to get their Guy Penrod
Congratulations. Thank you for donating your sweet vein gravy.
That's awesome. So thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks. Well, good deal. Well, I imagine you got to get over there and start putting out fires. So we'll let you go do that.
Yes, that's right.
And as always, appreciate the visit and what you do. And we'll see you here next time.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Come on out, support the Historical Society. You'll be glad you did. A lot of fun stuff. All right, it is 9:52. Let's pause for news, a couple commercials, weather, and your Wall Street business update. Don't go away.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The city of Carlsbad celebrating the 100-year anniversary of Carlsbad Caverns by inviting tourists and locals alike to play along on a scavenger hunt app that highlights all the great things to do in Carlsbad. The Carlsbad Caverns Discovery Dash Scavenger Hunt is now officially underway and can be downloaded on any app store for free. Participants can download the Scavify app and search for the Carlsbad Caverns Discovery Dash to join the hunt. The New Mexico Higher Education Department is now accepting applications for a loan for service program, providing up to 100% student loan forgiveness for New Mexico residents who graduate from one of 23 out-of-state graduate or professional programs. The programs are in dentistry, optometry, or veterinary medicine. The Western Interstate Commission on Higher Education Loan for Service Program forgives a portion of student loans each year of service licensed professionals provide in New Mexico after graduating from an approved graduate or professional program. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
The DOJ is part of the executive branch. Is his Department of Justice, which includes the FBI, have they been politicized and weaponized? Now, certainly, you can argue that the FISA applications and they're helping Hillary, no reasonable prosecutor would prosecute, and ignoring 33,000 subpoenaed emails that were deleted. You know, that was a big aid and assist to Hillary. And then allowing the dirty dossier story to get out there. And meanwhile, the FBI had went over the pond and sent agents over to meet with Christopher Steele, offered him $1 million if he can corroborate any part of it. He couldn't. And then within that month, they start using the dossier anyway to lie on the FISA application.
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
You know, I've been reading ads for a long time, and I've never seen a cyber summer sale until now. You get 40% off site-wide plus doorbuster deals when you go to Blinds.com. Summer is prime time for home improvement projects, and they have everything you need from Roman and roller shades to shutters, curtains, and so much more. Now shop Blinds.com's cyber summer sale now through August the 8th. 40% off site-wide plus the big doorbusters. 40% off everything now through August the 8th at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things are drying out over eastern New Mexico, but we do still have a chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm later on today. Pretty hot. Our afternoon highs 100 to 105 and a mix of sun and clouds. Overnight, just cloudy, our low in the mid-70s, and then more heat coming up on Wednesday. No rain in the forecast. We'll be at around 105 again on Thursday, and we'll stay sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. It was a lower open this morning for Wall Street, coming right on the heels of yesterday's big stock market rally. Stocks off sharply at mid-morning. UPS revenue fell in the second quarter.
The package delivery company also lowered its full-year revenue expectations by $4 billion. That was due primarily to a tentative labor contract reached late last month with its 340,000 unionized workers. The agreement potentially averted a strike that threatened to disrupt package deliveries for millions of businesses and households nationwide.
And that's correspondent Jeremy House reporting. The world's second largest economy continues to struggle in the wake of the pandemic. China's exports plunged by double digits last month. Domestic demand for goods in China weakened as well, falling by 12%. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
Bob Reed Pest Control protects you and your home by controlling pests that invade. Bob Reed Pest Control understands the importance of safety in and around your home from unwanted pests. Protect your family's most important investment, your home, and protect your children and pets from the dangers of poisonous bugs and insects. Call Bob Reed Pest Control today and let our fully licensed pest control professionals start working for you and your family. Find us fast in names and numbers. Call 623-5344, serving all of Southeast New Mexico.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Sigmund Freud once believed that cocaine could be used to help treat a morphine addiction. Mike used bacon to get over his addiction to beef. Here's Mike Winters.
And it is 9:59, about ready to wrap up today's show. If you missed any part, you can check it out at your leisure. Just log on to ksvptv.com, click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. You'll find our interviews there or our 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook wall or on YouTube as well. We replayed an interview in the 7 o'clock hour with the folks in the Roswell Community Little Theater talking about their first show of the season, Is He Dead?, which will be performances this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and next Friday and Saturday and Sunday. RoswellTheater.com. Get your tickets there. We had Rick Lamb with Boys and Girls Club in the 8 o'clock hour talking about their stuff, and then Amy McVeigh-Tejas just talking about Guy Penrond and all that there. That's going to do it for us. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico.